prepared, so if somebody else would like to take the lead on this.
Cool.
Stunning.
I'm too high for this. I got nothing.
You're a child of God.
We are the paragon of professionalism. Okay?
Yeah, welcome to our almost a month late best of 2022.
Before we recorded this episode, I was outside smoking frankincense and myrrh, talking to a baby.
Is that okay? Can you do that?
I don't know. That seems like it would poison you horribly.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah,
I'm not even sure I know what frankincense is.
It's the essence of Frankenstein. Arlen, what is the essence of frankincense? Whatever.
One of the essential oils, I'm guessing.
Okay.
I know
it's
it is
aromatic resin used in incense and perfumes.
Oh
yeah,
obtained from the trees of the genus Boswellia.
And they gave that to a baby?
Yes.
Fucked up.
Yeah, man. Your religion is a lie.
I forgot.
Well,
I was going to open up with saying that the universe hates me because Vince McMahon is back in the WWE because we can't have nice things. But that's the most I'll say about it.
Well, that's because wrestling is run by carnies and terrible people.
Yeah.
Right.
Allegedly, he's only doing it to facilitate the sale of the company. But like, who's to say he's like, now that I'm here, I'll just take all my old titles back and refire all the people you rehired after I fired them in the first place.
He's just gonna blow it all on whores.
Yeah,
he did that already. $25 million worth of it.
Yeah, but there's a lot more money he can make to spend on a lot less quality of horror.
So much money for just
whore. Bro.
Someone did the math and said like he could own like 7 brothels like with the money he has, and yet he's paying.
Here's the thing: if you have
dollars,
if you have a budget for hush money, you're fucked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty much. Anyways, let's get.
This is our top 5 for 2022, a year I didn't hate.
Yeah, no, 2022. I mean, outside of our own personal whatever bullshit, it wasn't that terrible. I guess
it was fine.
Yeah,
no,
it was
fact,
okay.
Like, I had to struggle to find like the thing I was like, ooh, what did I just really loathe this year? I got it. It was a 3-way tie.
Well,
later.
When I realized the thing that I hate, it was like the skies opened up, and I was like, okay, that's it. That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, that was. Yeah. I feel like mine is like, I kind of already felt that way, and then like the events later kind of pushed me to one direction.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is neither profound or shocking. So
life finds a way.
Yeah, yes, it does. I will say though, I had a hard time coming up with 5 things that I'm like, this is top 5 worthy. Especially when I got to number 5.
This is the same dilemma you run into every year, though, I think.
Maybe. I don't know. Usually I feel like I have too many things to add to the list. That's the thing I run into a lot. This year, number 5, it was like, I just thought of it like 10 minutes ago. So, yeah.
Number 5.
Year, like, I forget that I, like, all of what I watched this year or when it came out, like, at some point I was like, did the Snyder Cut come out this year? Was it last year? I don't even fucking know anymore.
No, time is breaking down. It is.
For me, everything just slotted into place really easily. Like, I actually put my list together like a couple of weeks ago. I was like, oh yeah, I should do that. Oh, okay, cool, that works.
I put mine together 15 minutes ago.
Yeah,
that's dedication to our craft.
Yeah. So I had 2 instantly, and then the rest were a problem. But there were 2 where it's like, no, that's it. Those 2 are on it.
I'll get my big one out of the way right away because I'm sure it's going to be on everyone's list. I can't stop singing the fucking theme to myself, and it's the Batman. That movie.
Yeah.
Fucking rules.
It's actually my number 2.
Wow.
Yeah, I love that movie. It's fucking awesome.
I have watched it an insane amount of times.
It's not on mine, but only because I knew it would be on at least one other person's lists. That's the only reason it's not there. And I still have the same problems with it that I had back in March. So it just didn't make it to the top 5. It was really, I was like, am I over it? Can I like give up on the issues that I had? No, I'm still like bothered by the last 30 minutes of it. Feels like it's a little long in the tooth.
You mean the fourth
it
act?
Didn't make my list. Yeah. The 15th act.
Yes.
You know, it just doesn't work in the end. But I still, the parts of that movie that I like, damn do I like them. I like them.
It does
quite
feel like
a bit.
they got to the end and they're like, wait a minute, Batman hasn't punched a whole bunch of people yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have him just throttle the shit out of all these guys.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. He brutalizes people.
Well, because like he comes in there, he's like, gotta work fast, can't work clean, and just starts clobbering these dudes.
Oh yeah, no, his Arkham hit count is just insane by the end. By the end of that final battle. Yeah,
I haven't revisited it since I first saw it. Like, I need to just to make sure that the things that I disliked about it are still the things I disliked about it, or maybe I'll have a renaissance with it and I'll end up actually enjoying it.
Well, that's also because you're a Marvel shill. So I mean,
I am 100%, 100%. Yeah. So much so that I don't have a single Marvel film on my top 5.
Well, okay, so that's the thing that we should have probably brought up in the opening. Does anybody have a Marvel thing on their list?
Yes.
I'm very curious about this.
I do.
Interesting. Okay, I know what it is too. I'm pretty sure. I think I know what it is. It's one of two things, I'm guessing. But aside from Hunter, did anybody else put one on their list?
I have something in my honorable mentions, but that's it.
I have
not a Marvel thing in mine at all.
Yeah,
not a one. So
I'm the Marvel show.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes. We know.
I've been out.
Yeah. Well. I guess there are worse.
Every time I watch the Batman, I find something else to love about it. I think Paul Dano's performance is like very weird, but just really infectious. Like,
it's so good though.
His little facial tics. One of my favorite facial tics he does is after he gets arrested and they face plant him on the counter. You don't see Bruce approaching, but you see him see Bruce approaching, and he's like, "Oh!" He gets all excited.
He's getting exactly what he wanted.
Yeah,
it's great. It's great. No, Paul Dano's a weird dude.
Yeah,
he's pretty great.
Riveting, guys.
And the new Gordon is easily my favorite Gordon. Oh my god, I love him so much.
Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright. Yeah, I would call him David Wright. Like that's not it.
Yeah, he like the thing that I think I might have said when it came out is like he sells the idea that this like long working relationship. Like we get the sense that these two have been through some stuff already in their very short time as like de facto partners. And I think he's part of why the movie works. Like I think he's a huge part of why it works because Gordon, if he falls flat, the movie can kind of fall flat too. Yeah, especially that movie, which is so
he needs to be the one selling that it's believable that someone would work with Batman. Like he needs to kind of be that part of the audience's mind. And it's Jeffrey Wright. Like I don't think there's a thing I've seen him in that I've been like, he wasn't that great. Like he's great in everything he's in.
Yeah. I love that he calls Batman man. He's like, I don't even know you, man.
Yes.
I do appreciate him pulling out a gun.
What was that?
Being like, that's your thing, bro. When he pulls out the gun.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So good. That's your thing.
Someone brought up to me like Penguin, I guess, is traditionally English speaking, so I guess this is the first time in a while we've heard him with like a thick New York accent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, they either do English or they go transatlantic. Like they very upper class. Usually.
Well, in the Arkham games, they specifically point out that he's putting on an accent.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
which makes sense for the character. Yeah. In the very traditional version of Penguin, that entirely makes sense that he would be, someone who went to England for for a semester.
I like
and he
this.
came
This
back
is
with a
mine
full
now.
English accent. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, he's an Anglophile. But I like the Fredo version of the Penguin that they do in the movie. Everything about the movie, I will say, works for the story that they were telling until we get to that last act, which is my primary problem with the movie. Is like so much of it fits what the movie is trying to do until that ending. But again, like everything else leading up to that, I think that the chase sequences are fucking fantastic. All the action stuff, the sort of line that is drawn between being super realistic and like I think there's some stuff that is intentionally elevated so that later on when Matt Reeves is like, I'm doing like comic Solomon Grundy, it's like I earned this. I built in the stuff so that I could do this and still call it realistic. That's my theory, at least. I might be completely
I want to
wrong.
see how they explain away the steroid at the end. Like, because the first instance I caught a glimpse of that, I was like, that's fucking Venom. Like, there's no way you're getting around that.
I mean, it might be.
Also, there's a good chance that Joe Chill is actually in the movie. And he's the guy that Bruce talks to at the funeral, who says, "Wait, do I know you?" And then the conversation abruptly ends. Very interesting.
I don't know. We don't need to have Joe Chill. It's
that we get into the problem that Star Wars has with that kind of thing of like, how many characters are there in Star Wars? Are there just 12 characters that we've been following this entire time?
Yeah. None of them are women. Am I right, guys?
Exactly.
None of them.
Yeah, they're all
not a single one. Yeah, exactly. And it does get into the things like maybe he's just a character who kind of recognizes that he's Bruce. Maybe that's all it is. It's just an acknowledgement of the fact that Bruce is as much of a myth, much of a secret.
He's Gotham royalty.
Right, but nobody sees him. I think that's the point.
He's Howard Hughes.
He's busy listening to Nirvana.
Yeah.
No, but you're right though, because the whole idea is that he's been just so hard being into Batman that like nobody sees Bruce anymore. And I mean that's even part of his plan is to just be done with Bruce soon. And and then he realizes whatever, I don't know, the pork chop sandwiches or some PSA.
Matt Reeves is a great writer. Wow, that just connected. But Matt Reeves, great writer. He wrote two of those Apes movies, which hold up really well. So
yeah. Does anybody else have anything else to say, or does somebody else want to drop their next one?
Yeah.
That's all I got on Batman.
Okay. I swear that's all I got. Who wants to go next? Arlen, do you want to drop your weird music on us?
Sure. I will.
I like that he had one too. Like, you didn't just assume incorrectly he's got one.
Oh no, I confirm that.
I do this every year. I'm not gonna break the trend on this one. Come on, guys.
I hope it's Boy Harsher.
No, it's not. It's not Boy Harsher. No, it's not Boy Harsher. I will say this though. Usually when I do these music picks, I do feel like I'm punishing you guys for being my co-hosts, and I'm sorry for that. I feel like that's what's happening. I don't intend to, but I feel like that's the vibe that I get.
We're like, you are?
But this year, but no. So this is one that kind of came out of left. No, it did come out of left field. It did factually come out of left field. This is from a band that I thought was like gone. I thought that they were just like retired, like, quietly, and like, oh, I'm never going to hear another album from them. And it is the album Blue Rev from Always, spelled ALVVAYS.
Oh, fuck off.
putting it in the messenger chat. A video.
Always.
Yes. And yeah, it's just a really fucking great album. It part of why I picked it is because I instantly knew that this was probably going to be one of my favorite albums of the year, just from like the first song coming out. It has this like this feeling of story is built into every album from this band. It's why they're one of my favorites out right now. And yeah, it's a very like nostalgic, emotional album. If that's the thing that you're into, give it a shot. If this first song is not your thing, don't even bother. But yeah, short and sweet. Always. I can't wait to see him in March. So yeah,
nice. That's always good. All right, I have a new appreciation for seeing bands live again, just because I went and saw Wet Leg recently and had a really good time. It was a smaller show, and it was like, oh, I can actually enjoy this as an adult and like not have to be right up front or, in the middle of the crowd. I can be off to the side and be like, I'm still hearing the music.
You can do what I used to do. You can do what I used to do stupidly and sit right in front of the speakers and destroy your hearing. Destroy your hearing. You don't need to hear anything.
Yeah.
People out there, don't do that. Don't.
No, do it.
Yeah. I went to an outdoor concert in August, I want to say, and same what you're saying exactly, Eric. Like appreciating being there and like being like feet from the artists playing. It was just
it's great. I mean, I can't speak on your weird robot music, but
no.
No, this is an artist where it's very specifically like something chemically in my brain is like, oh, this is my thing, and I know I'm maybe one of a handful of people that is actually into it. Yes. Yeah. And also so I will sort of do like a shout out. That band that I saw in August, it was Angel Olsen and her band, and she had the other album that was almost going to be on this list, which is called Big Time, which is more country. That album is more country. So if that's your thing, go listen to that. If you're looking for Rex. So
Arlen's a racist, confirmed.
Yeah, he said a lot of things in the chat before the episode.
Yeah.
Wow.
He just revealed himself completely. Anybody have anything else to add to Arlen's Fairy Time Underground music?
Goddamn.
Nah, music's for nerds. Don't listen to music.
So Frankincense
That's the name of my indie band, Frankincense.
All right, I guess I'll go next. I don't have these in any particular order, so I'm just going to go with one I have at the top of the list. It was a show that hit at the exact right time for the actor who was the lead in it, because it was coming right after No Way Home, and it's Under the Banner of Heaven. And Andrew Garfield was fucking amazing in the show, and the series itself was so goddamn good. Like, I was shocked at how interested I was in what was happening in the story, because I normally am just kind of like about Mormonism and all that. But what's that? Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Hunter.
Oh, I wasn't going to say anything. I was just. Oh. I was making noise. Sorry.
I was just staring at a candle.
I was actually
Frankincense.
But yeah, Under the Banner of Heaven was just, it came out of nowhere, and it had no right to be as good as it was. And that was the first time I was seeing, I don't even know what the actress's name. She's in that movie, I Know Why the Crawdads Sing.
Daisy Edgar Jones?
Yes. Yeah. Which she's also really fucking good in it. And like, I had never seen her in anything, so I was really shocked. Like,
other than Fresh, right?
I hadn't. Yeah, but I saw Fresh after.
Oh, you did?
Under the Banner of Heaven. It came out after Under the Banner of Heaven. But yeah, I'm it was a fascinating case that I didn't know anything about. It made me really pay attention to how horrible Mormons are now. So
yeah, that's a show I have to finish. I have that on my Hulu queue, and I kind of got distracted by other shows. But
how many episodes did you watch?
I watched the first one. I really liked it.
Okay.
I think something came out when I watched it, and then I just ended up binging that instead.
Sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It is a very it's not dense is the wrong word to use. It's a lot of facts coming at you. Done more eloquently than say the first season of Narcos, which is mostly a Wikipedia article being read to you.
Fame Tina Cuerta vehicle, Narcos.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and the other thing is Wyatt Russell is really good in it. He's great as a bad guy.
He's good in everything.
He is. Yeah, Connor,
is great.
I think you would really like this. It's about a bizarre murder case. Ooh. And it's a police procedural too at the same time. But one of the cops is a Mormon. Yeah. It's really interesting. I think you should check it out.
What is it called?
And it's him and his partner Under the Banner of Heaven. It's based off of a book. Yep. It's the same writer as Into Thin Air and Into the Wild, I want to say.
Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, it might be the same guy who did Into the Wild. I think you're right.
I think it is Into the Wild. Yeah, so it's it's same author, John Krakauer.
Okay.
And I knew the case because I'm the crazy person who's listened to that Mormonism series from last pod too many times.
I have as well also listened to that too many times.
Yeah. And they cover that story in the final episode, and they cover it from a very funny, goofy perspective. And seeing the more serious, sober perspective was also good. And I kind of have a conspiracy theory that whoever the showrunner is, they took the podcast in with them when they were pitching it, and they were like, "This, but serious. We're gonna take all the jokes
this, but
out
with less dick jokes."
Because it is the fact by fact thing of breaking down the story. There's a lot of the history of Mormonism squeezed into this crime show.
Whoa.
And again, it's told very effectively, and it's never boring. You're never can we skip the historical parts? The historical parts play this other second show that's Old West Game of Thrones almost.
It's a good it contextualizes what's happening, and while everything surrounding the murder, why it happens the way it does.
When does it take place? Is it the
70s, early 80s?
Yeah, 70s, early 80s. Yeah. And the whole family that you learn about and their dynamic is so good. Star of both the Avatar movies.
Jake Sully.
He's fantastic.
Wait, Morty is in it?
Brother.
Yes, he is.
He's in it. And I forgot who he was. I forgot the case before starting it, so I didn't remember what happened to him and what his position was. And the journey that character goes on from the very beginning is this guy that you really like. Eric, I don't know if you felt the same way, but I was oh, I really dig this dude, despite knowing that I probably wouldn't get along with this character in real life. And the way in which his story goes is just so dark and twisted.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a very good show. Highly recommend it.
It's FX, I think it's 8 episodes. But yeah, FX when they're on, they are 100% on. They don't miss a beat when a show is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's me. Hunter, I guess that would be you.
So I decided to only put one video game on my list because I was thinking there's a lot more that I enjoyed watching this year than playing because just because of time and stuff. But yeah, my number 5 pick is a game that I've actually spent a lot of time with. And honestly, when Comic Club and Crossover Attack comes back, this is probably going to be my game of the year. It's Cult of the Lamb.
Oh, wow.
That game, I played a lot of Cult of the Lamb. No. I love Midnight Suns. It's really good, but it's not. I did not spend nearly enough time with it as Cult of the Lamb.
The one Game of the Year podcast I was listening to, I forget which one it was because I've got like 7 or 8 video game podcasts I listen to. Anyways, they had said that they really like the one aspect of Cult of the Lamb is that like when you're in the villager mode and like city or town management, whatever you want to call it, they all kind of look like citizens from Animal Crossing.
They do.
I think that's ridiculous.
And then you can sacrifice them and force them to marry each other. It's fucking awesome.
Force them to eat poop before proper sewage is invented.
You can force them to eat shit. It's great.
God damn it. I wish I would have picked that up.
It's so good. It's generally one of my favorite games this year.
Can you make them carry out sarin gas attacks in Japan?
Here's the thing. Like honestly, probably not too far off. I haven't got to that. Like, I played a lot of this game, and I don't know if I got to that part of the skill tree. It feels like it could go that way at some point. So,
well,
young sapien.
For those who don't know, like, do you want to give a brief explanation of what the game is like?
So, the game is basically it's got two halves to it. So one half is like a roguelike, like hack and slash game, like kind of like Hades or something like that. And the other half is like a village simulator type thing where you have a group of people and they like complete tasks and do things for you. And then you can hold like congregations and they'll give you like buffs and stuff to go into the kind of like the hack and slash portion of it.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead.
It's pretty good. Everything kind of flows pretty well together, and I really enjoy kind of the core loop of the game.
How is the dungeon part of it? Because that's something I haven't heard a whole lot about.
It's all right. It's not like Hades level of good, but it serves enough that it's actually really fun to play and just feels good.
Okay. Because that's the thing. Like, if that part isn't good, then that just makes it a kind of boring town simulator because you won't have the full like chutzpah that you would need to be a good town simulator. That's the thing. I'm also worried that like if I get it, the town simulator part is just going to be frustrating or boring to me. Is it relatively intuitive?
It's pretty intuitive.
Okay.
It's pretty intuitive. It's not. It's easy to wrap your head around.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, it's something I've been trying to keep my eye on, and I had no idea you've been playing it because I haven't heard you talk about it much.
Well, because when I play it, I'm playing it. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where like I start it up and then I lose two or 3 hours.
Okay, I get it. I totally get that. That's me with Resident Evil 2 right now.
Yes.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking bangers.
Yes. Nice. All right. Well, anybody have anything else to add about Cult of the Lamb?
No, it sounds like something I might actually play if I get around to it. I'd still have to. I have a backlog that I have to get through. So,
well, when you plug in your Xbox,
I'm gonna destroy you. I'm gonna come to the game and I'm gonna rip everything to shreds.
Damn.
Fucking Ubisoft, motherfuckers. No, I think we can go to Connor's next pick, right? Am I getting the order right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know we're back to me already.
Yep.
I saw this movie at home and cried like 7 times. Arlen, I think you said something to the effect of after you left the theater, someone looked you in the eye and you started crying.
Yeah, it was very hard not to cry at another person making eye contact.
Yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once is like.
Yeah, that was on my list.
Like, soul flaming movie I've ever seen in my life. Like afterwards, I was like, "Holy shit!"
That's one I gotta watch.
It is awesome.
Oh, you haven't seen that yet?
I haven't seen it yet, dude.
I'm not even angry. I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
I just haven't had time because I don't. With everything going on in my personal life right now, I don't have time to really sit down and watch movies.
Yeah, understand.
So, but yeah.
It is a perfect balance of like, we're going to beat the shit out of you for about 10 minutes, but then we're going to kind of treat you nicely for about 15, and then we're going to beat the shit out of you again. very real, but also at the same time, there are fights with dildos.
Hell yeah.
And a butt plug.
Yeah, man.
There's
But
also
not in the documentary way either.
there's also hot dog fingers
Which
that
still,
squirt
to this
mustard
day,
and ketchup
unnerve
out
me
of them.
to no end. I can't stand looking at those things.
I can't get over 2001 being like this thing that we're remaking perfectly over and over again, and I'm like, there's an art to this, and everybody's doing it well. Everybody, from the Barbie trailers to everything, everywhere, all at once, and yeah, it's just perfection.
Yeah, like
it's also
between
and
two rocks where there's no dialogue. I'm like,
yeah.
Well, it was also awesome to see. What is the actor's name? The one who played Short Round, and
I'm not gonna attempt it.
I can't pronounce that.
Huey Han, I think. Hang on, not Huey, but Hui. Hang on.
What isn't it? Quay or something like that? Yeah, I'm not gonna make a serious attempt to pronounce that.
Kehui.
Yeah, Kehui.
I'm not gonna even try.
Okay. Well, it was so nice to see him again because like he's still as charismatic as when he was a kid.
Fucking awesome.
Like he still has it.
Yeah.
It's a shame that he didn't get to really use his talent for this long.
Yeah.
It feels like we were robbed, kind of. Like as a society, we were robbed. I feel like, but he gives such a good performance that you feel like you've been seeing him in movies over the past 40 years since Goonies.
Since Goonies or Indiana Jones. I can't remember which one he was in first.
Yeah, like it feels as if he's been around the entire time, and that he didn't take like a long break between whatever he did last and this. So yeah, it's love that movie.
Michelle Yeoh, I'm glad to see her like leading a movie. Apparently she was like super excited to do this because she wants to do all the stuff that's in this movie. She wanted to be funny and serious. Apparently
it's amazing
Harrison
that
Ford...
they went to Jackie Chan first. And Jackie Chan was like, no, he didn't want to do it, and they gave it to Michelle.
Oh, good.
Okay, all right.
Harrison Ford, I guess,
very happy they did.
Key at some award, and you know how Harrison is. I guess he saw him and was that he went, "Is that you, Short Round?" and walked up and gave him a great big hug. I was like, "That's how you know you're good."
Yeah, I saw that.
Harrison Ford is like,
because he's in full he's in full emotional grandpa mode, who's in touch with his feelings. So he's like. Yeah, he's hugging and he's like crying during Indiana Jones trailers. Yeah.
Well, it's also Callista's been real good about getting in her chair, so he's been in a real good mood recently.
He's like gonna have to take her out of the glue factory soon.
There's only so much a man can do about a megasophagus.
Jesus Christ.
God damn it.
Jesus.
Every time you say that word, I'm like, that sounds like something horrible.
It's the term for what, it's what you have to do with dogs that have megaesophagus, is they have to be put in a chair like that. So I like the idea more that he's doing that for Callista because she has the same problem.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Connor, that movie, like my wife and I saw that when I was on a week vacation back in March or April of 2022 and 2020 and I was shocked, just absolutely blown away at how good it was, because I mean, had you seen Swiss Army Man?
No, that's on my list, because that like when that came out I was like,
okay,
what the fuck is this? I need it.
Okay. Yeah, because my wife and I had seen Swiss Army Man like months and months before, so I was kind of expecting something like that, but this showed like directors that had a very distinct vision and were able to act on it. Like,
that's the thing I love about it, is that it feels
shocking.
Like a fully realized idea. Like everything about it works and works really fucking well. All the performances are great. The multiverse stuff is very easy to understand, but also really fucking interesting. I still can't get over the Ratatouille bit, or Ratatouille. Yeah, Hunter, there's a universe
So
where
good.
it's essentially just Ratatouille, but instead of a rat, it's a fucking raccoon. And he's hiding this dude's
Yep.
fucking
Oh
hat.
my god. I'm gonna find this movie tonight, I swear to God.
Yes.
But like Jamie Lee Curtis was
I can take a look.
unbelievable in all of the fucking roles that she did play, because she has like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, and my wife was really happy that like Jamie Lee Curtis was looking like her age, like, which is something that was
She doesn't
nice
just look
to
her
see.
age, she's leaning
Like,
into
and
it
I
and
know-
doing like an old lady walk and just being generally like casually off-putting, and just how like she doesn't give a shit.
Yes. Yeah, it's great.
Also,
Yeah.
when she gets
that
the
was
wrestling like multiverse set of skills, I was laughing my fucking ass off, because I'm like, I can imagine someone screaming commentary over this, because she's like doing like fucking Yokozuna poses and shit. She's bench pressing people.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I have to watch this now.
There's
dude, you do.
There's some stuff in the movie where it's like, holy shit, I can't believe that just
and
happened.
all
We're going to be seeing memes from this movie for like the next 50
and
years.
to like
probably.
tap into your other selves, you have to basically do this hyper specific thing in order to get it, and like it changes every time. And like one of them is like, put your shoes on, left foot right, right foot left, spin around, and then I don't know, swallow a staple. Like, it's very bizarre.
Yeah, it's always really great. Like somebody else that once again I can't remember her name, the actress who plays her daughter.
That is the first place I've ever seen
the one. Yeah, I don't want to say anything more about her role, but yeah, she's great. Like, she's also somebody I was not familiar with and completely blown away by.
I think I had maybe seen her in one other thing, and I'm like, she's on the list of like, you're in the new thing. Okay, I'm in. Probably. Yeah. I'm at least gonna try it. Whatever. If I see her name somewhere, like, yeah. And like you just said, I knew her from basically nothing before this, so very, very curious to see whatever comes next. She's in the new Ryan Johnson thing, just to give people a little preview, so that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
That's all I got for that, though.
Yeah. All right, I guess it's you, dude. Yeah. Anybody else got anything to say? Hunter, I imagine you're watching it right now.
Oh no, he's pulling Alan.
No, but I will be probably today or tomorrow.
Do it.
Because I just found out it's on Paramount Plus. So
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Let's hear what you've got for us now, Arlen.
Okay, well, I don't think this one's gonna be a real shocker. It's fucking Barbarian, motherfuckers.
Oh shit.
Fucking
nice.
Fucking Barbarian crashing through the fucking wall that she's never crashed through before. I still can't get over like the experience of watching that in a theater. The audience around me also being very confused, as I was confused.
Not knowing anything about it is really the best way to do it, because I sat down like, what the fuck is this? Yep. And then like the longer it went, and like as soon as like the underground tunnels revealed, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? And then it just goes, the movie just shits its pants crazy.
Yeah.
Hunter, did you see this?
See what?
Did you see Barbarian?
Yes, I did watch Barbarian. Sorry,
okay,
you cut out when you said cut out when you said the thing. But yeah, I see Barbarian. I didn't like it, to be honest.
Okay. Fair enough.
You don't do horror films.
All right, I can understand.
I'm not a big horror fan like you guys are.
That's the thing. I didn't even think. I mean, this movie was horrific, but it didn't really go too over the top.
Really
I didn't think.
Itself. Like, you get
I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm dead inside.
Just, nothing going on.
Yeah, it's a lot of atmosphere in my. Like to me, it's a lot of like. Yeah, it's a lot of like building of tension, and then the moments where things get big, it goes really big.
Yeah.
But it's I don't understand. Like, I'm still confused by the whole the James Wan movie comparison, Malignant. Like, couldn't be more different movies to me.
I think that
Boy, I must have slept through that scene
It's
in
not the
Barbarian
same, but I
where,
can
the
see where
mother,
it's coming
flipped out
from.
and yeeted a chair across the room and beat the fuck out of 3 cops.
Yeah.
Well, no, Hunter, I'm at a loss. Please explain, if you can, how you can see that. And I'm just curious. I don't see the connection.
Just in the sense of like the way it kind of presents itself is similar.
Sure. Okay. Like there is a twist, sure. Like in that,
Yeah,
like,
in the sense of like super ridiculous twist.
right.
Okay.
That feels
Okay.
like that feels very surprising in the moment. Like it feels like the thing that the trailer relies on is like, even though you want to believe otherwise, we all assume that a Skarsgård is going to be doing bad things when we see a Skarsgård.
Well, I just assume that on my day-to-day life, honestly.
Yeah,
That's
like
somewhere.
if you see a Skarsgård in real life, turn around and walk away.
Yeah, run away.
Yeah, it's just the safest
His
possible
character
thing
also
you could
kept
do.
like aggressively trying
so
to reassure her. He's like, "Hey, I'm not just some creepy guy."
Yeah.
Wink, wink, wink.
Well, so we can talk about it a little bit more. I love that the movie is like it's escalating, and this is hilarious coming from us. It's escalating shitty dudes. Like it's like exponential like multiplications of shitty dude. It's like dude who's a little bit too pushy and like a little bit too weird and awkward and like not letting the issue go, to full on like rapist, to serial killer rapist,
slave keeper. Yeah.
It's just like, and it's like a Pokemon evolution every single time to like the worst possible version of dude. And yeah,
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, fantastic. Also, Justin Long, fucking
yes.
Where is he been? Like he's
weirdo
got
horror.
another. I don't know. It's just happened in the background while we weren't noticing. It's like, I can't wait. He's got a Dracula thing coming out. He's doing like it's like a Dracula movie where they're like hiding that it's Dracula, but if you like look it up on Wikipedia, it's based off Dracula. And it's like him seemingly coming to like a house where the brides are. I'm just like, yes, give me that. Just I can't wait for that now. After seeing Barbarian, I'm like, more Justin Long and horror things. It feels like the thing that he probably has been doing, but this should have been Justin Long's career for like the last 10 years. Because I don't know why, he's perfect for horror and he's perfect for playing characters who aren't necessarily the best people, but you still want to root for them. I don't know what it is, what combination of factors allow for
in
that.
Tusk, and yet the whole time I was like, stop cutting his limbs off.
Right. It's still sad as hell when you get to the end and
like,
he's
no,
in the zoo
I'm a
and
walrus
he's like,
now. Bring me fish.
Yes.
Is that what he says? Is that his actual direct quote?
I am becoming
Well,
walrus.
he's doing walrus noises.
Yeah. And then I am the walrus plays in the background.
I think that might happen. I don't remember for sure.
Probably. It sounds like something that would happen.
Yeah. It's a very Kevin Smith choice. Anyways, I don't really have to say much more else about Barbarian. If you haven't seen it and you listened to all of that, go watch it.
Yes.
Hopefully we didn't ruin it for you, but
I don't think we did.
Barbarian.
I don't think we did. And I did want to add real quick that Hunter, with the thing you said about the comparison to Malignant, I totally get what you meant with the like expecting a twist thing. The thing is, I feel like Barbarian earns it with everything in the movie, and I feel like Malignant didn't really. I don't know how else to.
Malignant, I feel like, is not as out of left field as Barbarians is. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
it just feels. I agree that it is a weaker twist. Like it is kind of like.
But Malignant knows that it's a weak twist. That's the point. Malignant absolutely knows that the twist is weak, and it's playing on that. Like that's the.
I think
vibe
that's part of being a giallo too, right? Like
yeah, absolutely. Like that's part of the thing that it's like referencing is like, and it's not even specific to giallo. It's just like European B movie stuff at the time, where it's like a character will show up in like the last 5 minutes, and they'll be like, he was behind it all along. Which I've learned a lot from watching a lot of those movies recently. So yeah, it's just a thing that happens where a character is introduced, and it's like, are we supposed to have known this character or seen this character before this moment? And yeah, that happens a lot in Malignant. But Barbarian, like, I think the structure of that movie is excellent, and the world building, which is a funny thing to say about a horror movie, is like so good. And like, when eventually, whether Zach Krieger wants it or not, like a Barbarian 2 happens, if it does happen, I'm on board, because they've established enough about like what was going on that I'm like, yeah, I totally believe that there's another movie in there, that there's another story to tell, as long as it's well done. But yeah, like, great movie, fantastic movie. I and you know, it's a real sign that like horror can still be very surprising, and yeah, especially now. So yeah.
Anybody else got anything to add about Barbarian?
Nope.
Not really.
Okay. Silence is I guess golden. All right. My next one is one that so much better than it had any right to be or I expected it to be, and hits that weird thing. Like, I don't know if it's high strangeness. I don't know if it's outer dark type of shit, but Outer Range was fucking phenomenal.
Ooh, that's another one that's on my list.
Like, every episode kept... Oh, you didn't watch it yet? My God. Yeah, it feels like if somebody took the idea of Twin Peaks, or at least the strangeness of Twin Peaks, but actually wasn't David Lynch.
Oh no.
So like they focused on like the creepy weirdness, not just the weird weirdness. Yeah. Like, it's, I don't know, it's just great. It's Josh Brolin chewing up scenery. Is it Mimi Rogers? I think that's her. Or that's her name. As his wife, she's fucking amazing too. Like, it's Imogen Poots. Like, it's a great cast, and it's Amazon kind of starting to show that, like, oh, they actually have some interesting things that are going to be coming from them. Like, because Amazon Prime, I don't know, like it feels very hit or miss for me, but when something hits, it's fucking on fire.
Yeah, what I loved about that show is, early on, I think a lot of us were like, okay, it's just like Amazon's Yellowstone knockoff, and that's what I thought at first. And then as we got more like trailers and stuff, I was like, am I going crazy, or is this show going to do some like weird shit? And Erik, you were the first person to be like, no, this show's doing some weird shit. Yes. And then we watched it and we're like, oh, this is doing some real weird, like, occult, obscura shit. Just like, Skinwalker Ranch is finally like getting dug into this year. And after like revisiting some of the details of that story, the degree to which like he just like was doing Skinwalker, like he took a lot of parts out because the Predator showing up doesn't really work in this very serious like cowboy drama. Or, you know, or any of the other weird random things that happened in the Skinwalker Ranch story. But like he like boiled down the essential elements of that story, and he made this really compelling drama, really fascinating characters. The Poots showing up as like one of the most chaotic, neutral characters. The as we said in one of the chats, the porn kissing was
there's if anybody wants to see a whole lot of saliva streams between two people when they're kissing. That's nasty.
If your autism is triggered by that, it might be a problem, but if
it's so ridiculous. Well, Hunter, are you aware of what the show's about at all?
The Outer Range? Yeah.
Yeah. No,
No,
I
I
said
have no
Connor,
idea.
not you, Hunter.
Oh.
Yeah, pipe down, tall man.
Okay.
No, it's Josh Brolin is a rancher, and his ranch is going through whatever, the typical like, oh, I need to sell some of the land.
There's a
And
bigger landowner right next door and all that stuff.
yeah, and he finds a hole in a certain acreage of his land, and it's a just giant black pit. Like, it's not like a hole into dirt. It's just this giant black pit, and it's everything surrounding it and what happens when he goes into it.
Oh.
And yeah, and what comes out of it. It's really fucking good, and some of the twists are amazing. There's one big one that they save for the end, which I feel like was really obvious if you paid attention to things. I feel like the one, there's a different big twist that I feel like would have served better for the final episode, but I don't want to say what it is because I really do think you guys should watch it. I think you would really dig it, and hopefully by the time you actually get around to watching it, the second season will be coming.
Hopefully.
Yeah. But yeah, it's oh, go ahead.
Well, does it end on a note where there could be a second season?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah,
100%.
There's a moment where it's like, do they have like 15 seasons planned out or something?
Seriously.
It feels like that. It feels like there's enough stuff set up that feels like it's going somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like whoever wrote this, it feels like they know where they're going. I think that they know where they're going. I hope so. I hope it's not a lost situation where they don't know.
Oh God.
Past year 3. And also it feels like the mystery box has become so old hat that there are people who are bored of the mystery box, so they're trying to like do better mystery box, and this doesn't like fall into a lot of mystery.
Yeah, no, it feels like they're trying something different. You're 100% correct. Like, you can tell like there's some framework to the mystery box there, but they're approaching it at completely different angles and different ways than you would expect. Yep. And it's appreciated because the mystery box is so old and so route at this point. I'm kind of tired of it. Yeah.
You have to pull it off exceptionally well for me to give a shit. You need to be a Watchman for me to not be like, I'm gonna hate this. I'm gonna hate every minute of this. When I'm like, oh, why didn't you just say this earlier? I'm gonna be so mad at you. No, the show absolutely earns it, I think, because the mystery isn't the mystery. The mystery is the characters and learning about them, and it's just very, very well done. And Josh Brolin, like, geez.
Yeah.
I like there's a couple actors that I think are extremely underappreciated. And Josh Brolin is one of those actors where I'm like, every episode, it's like there's a new degree to the character, a new level in which I'm like fascinated by him, and like he's also off-putting in places. It's just it's a great. If you're just like, oh, I need more Brolin in my life, it's 12 hours almost of Brolin. So yeah.
Well, I think he's also doing this because he needs to make sure he has a nest egg for his next divorce. So
right.
Yes. Yeah.
He can move on to wife 17 or whatever the fuck it is at this point.
Jesus Christ.
It's not that much, but I think he's on like wife 5 or something like that. Yeah. Man likes getting married.
Don't we all? All right, fellas.
Just the once for me.
Only some of us have the strongest wills, Erik. So.
That's it for me with Outer Range. I don't know if anybody else has anything they want to ask. Any questions? Can I help you?
No questions. We'll talk about it a little bit more later.
Okay.
But I think we can go to Hunter.
Hunter.
Believe, right? Yeah.
Yes.
My fourth pick is Werewolf by Night.
Oh.
I fucking love Werewolf by Night. I think it's fucking awesome. It's the coolest Marvel thing for like a country mile, I really think. To be honest with you.
Could this have anything to do with a large plant-based entity that people burn at its touch.
Well, no, because I'm not Arlen, but
No,
because Arlen's favorite thing is Man Thing. Remember?
Yeah, I'm a
He
Man
loves
Thing
Man
guy.
Thing.
I've
Oh, yeah, I
always been a
forgot.
Man Thing guy.
I forgot.
I've been a Man Thing guy for about 5 years since we.
Yep.
Oh, so
been,
you really like that Sci-Fi Channel movie that they did?
He loves it. It's his favorite.
And anybody that claims that I liked another green giant man in a comic book universe is wrong. They're lying to you. It's fake news.
Yeah.
Connor, Man-Thing is a weird and kind of complicated character, which seems bizarre for a swamp creature. Like he's an like what is he, like an elemental that protects?
He's like an elemental guardian for like the point where all the multiverses connect.
Yeah.
That's not at all what I thought.
As much as as much as to break the joke very quickly, as much as the two characters, Man Thing and Swamp Thing, started from very similar places, they diverged drastically from one another.
They're also rip-offs of another character called the Heat.
They are.
And if you think about it, like Swamp Thing's trajectory, not to go too deep into this rabbit hole, it kind of took a similar, I don't know, like godhood-esque level.
Yeah.
Like they're not doing the same thing, but they're kind of on a similar power level, I guess.
It's like on a similar plane of like, it's like two worlds out the lines, kind of.
They're just diverging slightly at points, but yeah. So I mean, there's that. But regardless, they're both just big, stupid plant monsters.
Yeah, I really like Werewolf by Night. I think the cool little details and like all the characters and like just the way it looks is so visually interesting. Yes. I really feel like and I just really love it.
Well, and how about the fact that it's what's his fucking face? Yes. It's his first fucking like Disney directed ever.
Yeah, and it's fucking awesome. And he's gonna do them next.
It's so good. Like it's so good. How the fuck is he this good at both conducting and this now?
I don't. Yeah.
He's too powerful. We gotta take him out.
Seriously,
that's true. It's true.
Composing, not conducting.
It was really good at like, for also being something that was so short and sweet. Like that's the thing that I really appreciated it. I was like, it didn't overstay its welcome.
Yeah, it's like the perfect length too.
Yeah, it was just, and then I don't know if anybody got a chance. The behind the scenes doc that they did for that one, it might be my favorite that they've done for any of the Disney Plus.
Wow.
Yeah, Man Thing was practical, by the way.
Oh yeah,
a lot of it was practical, and
it's nuts.
I did hear about it being all practical and saw pictures of like that effect. It's fucking nutty.
Did you watch it?
It's on my list of things to get to.
Oh man,
yeah, so much, and like even like the CG stand-in, like it looked so good. The details are so there, and it's like, oh, I would love to be on set with something like that. Like just to see that, to act against that would be incredible. Yeah, it was great. And then like learning about Giacchino and his brother who directs documentaries, and like their background and stuff, growing up like halfway between Philly and Newark or somewhere in Jersey, like in like prime middle ground there, like, and they're like making like little short films. They like made like Indiana Jones short films and stuff like that as kids, and like they lit themselves on fire.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just like some really very adorable like 80s 70s Super 8 footage that's just delightful to see. And then there's a moment with his mother, with the mother of the two Giacchinos, where they're talking about the movies that he's done, and she's like, so will Spider-Man ever meet Batman or something like that?
Yes, mother. Okay.
Yeah.
In your dreams.
And they're like, those are separate things, Mom. They're like, he's in the DCU and Spider-Man's in the MCU, and the mother's just like,
She's just blinking.
Whatever.
Uh-huh.
Why
Sure.
couldn't you both be accountants? Fuck. The actor who was the titular Werewolf by Night, Gabriel, I can't remember the rest of his name.
Luna, just kidding. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Isn't it Gabriel something though? I thought.
Yeah, Gabriel Bernal, I think is his last name.
Okay. Like I was not expecting him to be in it, and he was so goddamn good. Like I've been this entire like phase 4 or whatever, or is this phase 4? Is it? Yeah, we're not in phase 5 yet. This has been like.
I think it started with Guardians holiday special. It's either after holiday special or it is holiday special. One of the two.
Yeah. But phase 4 has been a whole lot of like, hey, look who we can actually get, and they do a great job in it. Like, I feel like it was kind of perfect that it came out right around the same time that Martin Scorsese said the shit he did, because this felt like Marvel kind of growing up and like stuff like this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really good. I really loved it.
Yeah, and you're right. The 45-minute length is perfect, and I hope they do more stuff that they're like not sure about this way.
I hope they do more monsters in this format, because I feel like that's like perfect for those characters.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it is. It is. And then have like a double length episode for when they team up to fight something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. I guess we're back to Connor.
Number 3 is The Boys season 3. I had to check. It did come out this year. I was like,
nice.
Oh my god, was that last year? No, but it was earlier. It was actually January. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was super early.
That show fucking rules, and I didn't really get into it like fully until I
good.
sat down to get ready to watch season 3. There's some stuff in season 3 that I found more entertaining and more compelling than a lot of the recent Marvel stuff. And seeing Homelander have to throw a punch for the first time in 3 years was worth every fucking second.
Mm.
It's so good.
You go ahead, Eric.
It felt a lot like they heard people who were saying like, wow, season 2 felt a little like edgelordy and over the top. Like this felt like a serious course correction for the series, and it's all the better for it because everything fit into place. Like anything that was quote unquote extreme for superhero stuff, like just worked for what they were doing. It didn't feel like
motivated.
Exactly.
All of it. It felt like there was a purpose to the horrendous things that were occurring.
Well, they also did the impossible. They made me think for 2 seconds, like, do I really like Homelander? Nah, piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The fight between him, Soldier Boy, and Butcher is one of the most entertaining fight sequences I've seen on TV ever. That shit is hilarious when he fucking pulls him down with a cape.
Yeah, that stuff was good. Yeah, but it's also like the little moments, like the girl and her like dream sequence where they're like dancing in like 1940s style.
The
like,
female.
Stuff, like all that stuff. Like the little character beats were really, really on point this season, and like this is why I love Eric Kripke as a writer, and I'm fully back on board the Kripke Stan train. Like he made it so that it didn't matter that I didn't see season 2. Like it didn't matter at all. There wasn't a moment where I was like, should I go back and just binge all of season 2 just to get it over with because I'm liking this so much? I was like fine with just not even having anything to do with it. And like, yeah, I was like, oh, this, and that was the other thing. It made me remember what I loved about Supernatural, and like the way in which the show was constructed so tightly, and the references were so elegantly placed, and you would just get set up for things so well that everything just flowed, everything just worked, and the characters' themes and their beats just all yeah, all of it was perfect. Like, it didn't matter that I hadn't seen season 1 since it first aired, I think. And I didn't remember the one of the characters, the brain exploding character.
I don't know her
I'm
name
trying
at
not to
all,
spoil
but yeah, I know who
anything
she is.
down there.
I follow
But,
the actress on Instagram. I can't remember her name.
Have you talked to her about playing video games?
Nah, only Chloe.
Like her character was so well done, and like her performance was so good that it just didn't matter that I didn't remember that she was a character from season 1. Like, it was just
she was really season 2, dude.
No, she's in season 1 though. Like, you see her in the background of season 1.
I don't remember seeing her in season 1 at all.
Like, I didn't either, but I was like watching a video. It's like, oh, she was in season 1. She's in like little bits and pieces, and then the character slowly grows throughout season 2, based off of the things that I saw, where it was recounting season 2, so I could fill myself in a little bit. And then
her name is the actress' name is Claudia Dubé.
Yes.
I want to add that I think this season really succeeds in making effective changes from the source material to the point where now it really stands on its own. I think it's way better.
Oh, you mean how it's better than the comic?
Yeah, it is. It's one, as someone who owns the entire series, it's 100% better than the comic. Like, I like the comic for the story it's trying to tell, even with all the bullshit shock tactics. But yeah, the show is so
like what they do with Soldier Boy, who, as far as I understood, was like not a very big player in the comics.
No, he was just he was a condom for Homelander, and
you had alluded to something a long time ago. You're like, oh no, Jensen's playing that character. Get ready. No.
yeah. And then he gets killed by Butcher later on. Yeah. So he got a much better share this time, and I mean, of course, they were gonna make sure he did a better, or he had a bigger role because of who they got to play him. Who was also fucking phenomenal in it.
It's like he's like, I'm going to let loose for a while, and no one's going to stop me.
Yeah. And also, so it would be very easy to be put off by the, oh, well, what if Captain America were real thing? That could lose me very quickly. And it didn't lose me ever. Like, the character was so well realized that I was like, I'm with this. I'm with this the whole time. And just like the way that they set up, and like the character who plays like the agent for like
Paul Reiser.
Paul Reiser. Like, this is the year of the Reiser. He's been back. I don't remember exactly everything he's been in, but he's been in a lot of stuff. He was in a Reboot, which
Stranger
is a good show.
Things.
It's not really our thing, but Reboot is good. Stranger Things, which might be coming up later. But yeah, like, so good. Paul Reiser, where's he been? It's just, the whole show. Like, and I like I like that we finally got to see Annie do something.
Yeah,
she's a character that I had a problem with early on, where it's like, is this character gonna like live up to the potential that I feel like it has? And yes, very much so. Yes. When we get to her moment in the end of season 3, it's incredibly satisfying.
Also, what becomes of Maeve is, I think, a lot better than what I understand about the comics, which is, I guess Homelander just punches her head off, and that is the end of it.
Yep. Yeah, it's you don't even see him actually punching her. You just see her trying to stop him. Yeah, you see it fly out of the back of their base as Starlight escapes.
One of my favorite moments
it's
the final episode where Huey blasts the lights so much in the studio that Starlight is able to fucking fly. I'm like, look at this! Everybody's relationship's getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's pretty fucking rad. Yeah, man. No, that's a good pick. Season 3, I'm very excited for season 4 now too. Like, cannot wait to see what they do.
Yeah.
I can't wait
I
for them
mean,
to take on the woke capitalist, the woke
God damn it.
communist agenda.
And to use my supernatural, stuff real quick. Season 4 is like the best season of Supernatural. So like, if it follows a similar trajectory, I mean, come
Well, I
on.
mean, by season 25, you'll be ready to strangle one of us, probably.
Oh my. We can only hope. We can only hope.
I can't wait for the fan fiction.
I can't either.
Well, I do think Eric Kripke picked a property where Tumblr can't get obsessed with these characters.
Oh, they'll find a way.
Yeah.
They'll get obsessed with some of them, but not to the same degree to which they became obsessed with Supernatural. Yeah, Supernatural is just safe enough for those people to latch onto those characters. The people that will latch onto these characters are an entirely different group that I'm actually more worried about in some places.
So
but that's fine. We'll get there.
Who in the fan fiction is going to be cucking Stewie? Is it like who's going to be doing the Eiffel Tower with Annie? I'm just trying to figure out for the fan fiction.
I feel like you went for a different character than I ever thought of. I would assume it would be the Frenchie character.
Frenchie, yeah.
Yes.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, his all portals are open on Frenchie, so.
My assumption would be Frenchie and A Train. That's where I'm going.
That's wow. Okay.
For my very Tumblr style. I mean, if there's any two characters that have less to do with each other and less in common, but that Tumblr would be like, it would be so beautiful if these two came together, literally and figuratively.
Bonin.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Anyways, enough of that. I believe it's my pick.
You are running like a criminal from the scene of a crime, Arlen.
Yes, correct. Factually true. Okay. My next one is Glass Onion.
Oh wow!
I love this. I really loved Glass Onion.
It's fucking awesome.
I was like debating with myself whether to put it on here, and that it's the one where it's like that was the last minute one that we were talking about, sort of pre-show and during the show.
Okay.
But I really fucking loved it. Like the experience of being one of the like 500 people who realized it was in a theater, because Netflix did not do a good job of making that clear that it was in a theater.
Shocking.
But it was a great theatrical experience. Rewatching it the other day was also fantastic. It's my jam. I like a good mystery, and I love Rian Johnson, as we've discussed many times. But like everything about this just hit for me. And I think I liked it even more than the first one. And I really liked that first movie. So yeah. Glass Onion.
I loved Glass Onion. Don't get me wrong. Like I just love watching Daniel Craig Benoit Blanket the fuck up. But I think I like the first one more just because it felt more like a traditional murder mystery.
Yeah.
Like this one, I don't know, there was something about it that didn't feel the same. Like maybe it was because there were more moving parts to it than there were in the first one. But
I can see that.
It was still great. It was just a different type of mystery than what I was expecting. And I still really enjoyed it. Like everybody's a fucking great job. Fucking Batista continues to impress. Like that dude just has the chops. Like he's always been a good actor, so I think it's just he went a different direction first and then realized who he should be.
I wish he had his tiny glasses though.
His little Blade Runner glasses.
Yeah.
There's so many. Batista is like the standout, I think, of that entire movie.
Yeah.
There's so many things. Like the character that he's playing is so specific, yet not like targeted at any one particular person.
I wonder why Ben Shapiro didn't like this movie very much.
Didn't like it to the point where he tweeted like 11 times about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
The woke mob, they're coming to kill him. And his wife's dry vagina.
Oh my god.
I think he particularly didn't like the bit about Batista living with his mother. I think that really like hurt him deeply. So I'm just guessing. But there are many other things, and also him getting cucked by Edward Norton, which is just fantastic.
But he wasn't. That's the thing, though. Remember?
Right? Yeah. That's true.
But he just, I don't know. He has continued to impress me. Everything I've seen him in. I'm not trying to turn this into the Dave Bautista love hour. But yeah,
no, but it's earned. Yeah.
It's, and I completely understand why he's like, I'm not trying to be the next Rock. I'm trying to be the next great actor. Like all that shit he's been saying. It's like, you deserve it at this point, dude.
As high as I'm.
Well, it may be too.
Oh, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say it may be too big of a comparison to make, but it feels almost. It could turn into like a Bill Murray thing, where it's a different kind of performance, a very different kind of performance from the thing where people know him from. But I can see him achieving very high highs in that different mode of his career. And if Batista keeps on playing characters that are this interesting while playing to his natural strengths as an actor, like I could see him easily getting an Oscar sometime very soon with the right role, and probably in a Denny movie, if we're being honest. Like it'll be a Denny, and it will be something post Dune where it's like this is like the stripped down back to basics Villeneuve movie, where he's playing something very serious but also with a sense of humor, like something like that. I could see him easily getting an award again with the right role, because he's already showing chops that I never would have imagined Dave Bautista would be able to show.
He'll have an Oscar before The Rock has one, that's for sure.
I can only assume it will get better.
Oh, sure. I mean, with everything going on with The Rock, I kind of wonder if he might not have shot himself in the foot a little bit in Hollywood.
Just a little bit?
He might have. Well, with one company in particular, at least.
Yeah.
But the hierarchy of power.
Well, I mean... Right, yes.
It definitely changed. It for sure changed. He was not wrong.
It changed. It changed, not in the way he expected, but it did change.
Yeah, it was the monkey paw wish.
But yeah, like, and it's not just Dave Bautista, it's the entire cast. Like, and that's the other thing. It's like, I agree with you, Erik. It wasn't quite what I expected. I honestly expected him to go, like, more traditional murder mystery. I didn't expect him to be like, no, this is the format of what this is. They're like, he leaned into, and this won't be surprising for me to say this, he leaned into the Columbo format very hard, and I gotta say I appreciate that. I appreciate that greatly, and the way in which he did it. It would have been. It's surprising to me that it worked twice in this case. It was like a shock that the first Knives Out happened the way that it did, and the twist in the midway point where you learn what's going on. Like that was one of those things I remember people talking about. Like, you can't do this twice. How are they making a sequel to this? The thing that made that first movie interesting for those reasons, I don't see how you can replicate that. And I think he did that. And I think that's part of why I might have liked it more, because I'm more impressed by the fact that he was able to do it again, that he was able to pull that hat trick for the second time, and I think really make it work for the story. And I do think that leaning more into the comedy just worked for the story. I think people wanted him to do Clue, based off the first movie, and that's what people were comparing it to, and he went a little bit harder in that direction, and I really think it worked for the characters. And also just like, I'm very happy that I get to see Daniel Craig on my screen for the next 15 years, that he's not going to be like every other Bond, where they just like disappear into the wilderness until they're seemingly character
Instead
actors.
of playing a new kind of crazy character where it's not the suave kind of masculine man, or he's just playing this insanely flamboyant gay man, and it's the best.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's just so good.
Yeah, he's lovely in it. Yeah.
Connor, have you not seen it yet?
Recently.
Okay. Yeah, Glass Onion is great. Like, please don't let my saying I didn't like it as much take that as I didn't enjoy it. Like,
yeah,
it's a fucking. Okay.
No, because again, Netflix made this very confusing, and they put it out early in theaters. They didn't advertise it, so you had people saying, "Oh, I just saw Glass Onion. Oh, it's out." And then they check their Netflix, and it's not on Netflix. It's in a theater for literally 1 week. I don't mean Thursday to the next Friday. I mean it was there from Tuesday to Tuesday, which is
or you could be an Ultraman fan and only get 2 days to see it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it's
like weeb. Kind of weeb.
Justice for Ultraman fan.
Go curl up with your body.
Yeah, come on.
go get in your body pillow. Go do it.
Where are my Ultraman heads at?
Yeah,
no one cares.
Go start a separate podcast for that.
Kamen Rider for life.
I don't have time for another one.
Oh yeah, I'd also like to point out, Arlen, your use of hat trick was incorrect earlier. Hat trick is 3 consecutive goals in hockey. He's only had 2.
Sayor's gonna descend upon this podcast now.
Well, I'm going to commit seppuku. By
No, I really like that Rian Johnson's just been like, I'm just gonna make some mysteries. Yeah. I like doing those, and they've been fucking phenomenal. And that bums me out so much. I'm still so fundamentally disappointed that people didn't fucking get it, but that's neither here nor there at this point because of what ended up happening.
Beating a dead horse and all that stuff, but I'm fine with it. You know, I mean, that's what he started his career doing. He started his career doing mysteries. It's what he's done more of than anything else, and I'm fine with him settling in and just being like, yeah, I'm going to do like a television series with Natasha Lyonne. It's perfect. Perfect. You know, it's like, yeah. And the premise of the show and the pitch of it's like, oh, they're doing the modern Columbo that Paramount is afraid to do for some reason. They're afraid to hire Mark Ruffalo. They're afraid to do it.
They're cowards.
And yeah, but if we can't get that, I'll take Natasha Lyonne. I'll take it. Natasha Lyonne and Rian Johnson working together. Her cameo is very short, but it was nice. It was like, oh no, cool.
Well, I hadn't realized when I was first watching the movie that one of those people playing Among Us with him was Angela Lansbury.
Yeah, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yes, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar made sense to me because he wrote a book from the perspective of Mycroft Holmes.
He did what?
Dude is a prolific fucking author.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. He's prolific in many ways. So that's
Patrick is it Gucciano? He's one guy who's in Pixels. He works at Penguin Random House, and he got to interview him and talk with him a couple times, and dude is wicked smart, ridiculously so.
I think I knew that, but I didn't know the specifics. That's okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's why he's there. And I don't remember it's just those 4. And them playing Among Us in the bathtub. It was
Steven Sondheim is there. Yeah.
I want to say Rian Johnson has clearly watched a lot of Twitch too, by the way, because there's him playing Among Us in the tub is so funny. It's just he's clearly a Twitch frog.
Yes, it's great. I love it.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I've been saying this over and over again because I think it's true and hilarious. he couldn't have predicted where things went with Elon, but he somehow did. And I think
did.
that's admirable.
Which that's one other thing I'd like to add. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the movie Magnolia, but there's a point in Glass Onion where Edward Norton is dressed as the same as Tom Cruise's character from Magnolia, and Ryan didn't know he was doing it, which makes it even better. Like, it's so great. And like when you see it, it's just like, oh my God, if you know exactly what's going on. But yeah, that was the last thing I had to add. Anybody have anything else they want to add about Glass Onion? Any last thoughts?
I think we're good here. So Erik,
Okay.
you're next.
Yeah,
right?
I'm next. My next one was something that I'm learning more and more is that Apple TV Plus is the new prestige cable
It's so good.
station to have.
It's very
Because
good.
Severance is my absolute favorite show of the year. Like Severance is I don't know, it's something special. Like it's not something I've ever seen before or ever been as into as I was while watching it. Like, have any of you guys watched Severance at this point?
In regards to Vince McMahon,
No.
because everyone keeps saying that it keeps playing out the same way that Severance does. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what that means, but that's interesting.
Severance, like, do you know what the main conceit
I
of Severance is, Connor?
A family
and for anybody else who doesn't,
business kind of thing.
No. You're thinking of Succession.
That's Succession.
Yeah.
So I have seen it, and okay. I'm very curious. I'm very curious what we're about to say.
The main conceit of Severance is these people who work for a specific company, they agree to have an implant, and when they're at work, that's all they know. They don't know anything about the outside world. They don't know anything about their lives outside of work. They know just work and who they are at work. When they're outside of work, they don't know anything that goes on at work, who they are at work, or who they work with, and the lives that they have outside of that. And then the turmoil that erupts from questions that might arise from either side of their lives. And it goes some ridiculous and amazing places. And John Turturro and Christopher Walken are amazing in the show.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's got an insane cast, like an absolutely bonkers cast.
Like you can tell they spent money on the show, and they knew exactly where to put every penny. Like it is the best thing I saw this year, and I cannot encourage people enough to go watch it.
It's very good. It's very well done. I'm worried. I have concerns.
Yeah.
It kind of falls into the bad mystery box so far for me, in that if you don't answer any of these questions next season and you don't answer them well, I'm going to be real mad.
Yeah, I can completely understand that, but I'm relying on hope. Like,
sure.
Yeah.
Oh, is it woke? Is it a woke show?
Well, not in the women, not in the way of like women doing things that women can't do, as we all know. But no, like it's kind of the stuff about it that I like really appreciated is like it's kind of a show about workers' rights.
Yeah.
Kind of a show, like there's an entire subplot where they're like, oh, they can turn you back on when you're outside of work.
Yes.
And like stuff like that was like, oh, that's really good. I'm glad I'm glad that Apple, of all companies, is doing a show about this. There are these moments of like, I don't even know what the word for this is, both in Apple shows, specifically in Severance, and in a lot of Amazon shows, where I'm like, Jeffy B doesn't watch this, does he?
No.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what the kids are doing.
Yeah. I think Upload is a very good example of that.
Yes, Upload and a lot of the boys, but Upload that's the other one where it's like has Jeffy B seen a single second of this? Does he know what you're doing?
No, no,
but yeah.
Severance, like I'd said earlier, it continues to prove to me that like Apple is going for HBO's mantle. Like HBO for many, many years was like the cable channel to see like amazing shows on. And so far Apple is kind of knocking it out of the park with everything I've watched.
Mm-hmm.
Even Gerald's Game was a decent adaptation of a book that would be hard to adapt.
Mm-hmm. They're definitely trying. They're trying very hard, and they're making interesting choices. Even the choices that I don't like are interesting, and that goes a long way. And you know, HBO only started to go downhill after TNT bought them. So what does that say? But I'm very interested to see where the show goes and where other shows are going. I do think that they do make some choices where it's like, this feels like a vanity project.
Oh yeah.
A lot of them feel like vanity projects, and it feels like them cribbing as much from HBO as cribbing from early Netflix.
But go with what works.
but like early Netflix, I think early Netflix had better taste. Personally, like I think at the time, Kevin Spacey and David Fincher, much better pick than some of the other choices that they've made. I'm not going to single anybody out right now, but at the same time, like, I haven't seen all of Servant, but what I've seen of Servant really impressed me, and what I've seen of For All Mankind really impressed me. So
even the Tom Hanks movie that was on there, that actually was the one with the robot, like,
and the one with the boat was also very good. I
didn't see the boat one. I don't care about no goddamn boats.
The boat one is Arlen core as fuck, so I understand why.
Somewhere Connor's dad just got very mad.
No, Connor's dad. Connor, if your dad hasn't seen the one where it's Tom Hanks as a boat captain, he should watch the one where it's Tom Hanks as a boat captain, because it's just like it's just him like dealing with the daily shit of being a boat captain. It's like, fuck, the engine is fucking.
I'm willing to bet he already
has. God damn it, we're supposed to be escorting this fucking plane. It's a lot of that stuff of like, what are the mechanics of a ship, and like who do you talk to get certain things fixed? Yeah, exactly. It's called the Greyhound, and as I was watching, I was like, this is made for 10 people.
My dad is all 10 of them.
And one of those people is Tom Hanks. Yes, and your dad of me and Tom Hanks.
Well, that'd be a great dinner. That's part of my bigger point, is like, Tom Hanks is such a good get for them, because he makes things that people will watch regardless of quality. And I've only seen one of the things he's done, and it's like, no, that was a fun Tom Hanks movie. Like, and that in and of itself is a genre. So I think for them, that's a huge win, and it's just indicative of how much they're willing to spend to gain this mantle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Fitch was interesting. For me, the standout for me was the brother from Get Out playing that robot. That was the one where, like, the fact that was Caleb Landry Jones, and I was like, holy, that's Caleb Landry Jones, he's very specific in his live action roles, and him playing a robot released him from like the preconceptions I have about him as an actor.
A greasy redheaded white guy. Yeah.
It really worked, and like he held his own while playing a CG character against one of the greatest living actors. So yeah, like that's the reason to watch Fitch, and the dog. The dog is very cute too. Very good dog.
Yes, so, best dog. 10 out of 10. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, that's all I got on Severance. I mean, you just go watch it. Seriously, like, figure out a way to get Apple TV for a couple months. They're always giving it away. So
yeah.
Also, the thing we didn't mention, it's Ben Stiller. he's the director and like
yes,
he's one of the showrunners, producer. Like he's one of the brainchilds, or it's the brainchild of him and one of the other producers. Ben Stiller like becoming like a stealth, brilliant director of like dramas.
yes,
Weird.
Like, yeah. But I mean, I guess that was always his intention from the beginning. If you like look up interviews with him, so like, good. I'm glad he's getting to live his bliss. You know, he's getting to do the thing that he always wanted. So that's fun. I like that.
Well, yeah,
I enjoy that.
Since serious roles weren't really working for him, yeah, it makes more sense. Yeah.
Also, the second one
Zoolander?
with the models, the second
Zoolander.
Zoolander kind of that movie kind of crashed and burned. So it was a nice out of the comedy genre for him. I'm sure. I think Hunter's next, right?
Yeah, Hunter. Whatever.
Yes. My number 3 is Prey.
Is what?
Hell yeah.
Prey rules.
Yeah, I forgot all about that.
Prey.
Yes.
Prey fucking rules. I love that movie.
Parts of that movie had me screaming for joy.
Yeah.
Like I was having a fucking blast watching that movie.
Yeah, it's
go
ahead.
And the dog doesn't die.
Yes.
Best part of that movie.
I love the fact that they got that dog from a shelter, and
it
only really bonded with her, like really strongly. So like that's why it worked so well when they were working together, because he really wanted to do a good job for her.
Oh.
Yes.
All the Predator violence was fantastic and crowd pleasing. When the Predator throws a fucking bear trap at somebody.
Yes.
Also, I laughed like a maniac.
Trap
when
on
he just walks up behind him and just shoots him in the back of the head, and he's like, "Ah, fuck!"
Mm-hmm.
He has this very visible body reaction of like, "How fucking dare you!"
Well, you guys will be able to appreciate this. I kind of love the idea of kind of Assassin's Creedification of Predator, just for a little bit.
It's fucking awesome.
Like, yeah, give me Predator in other time periods. Like, please.
Yes,
this is
I've been wanting
such
to see
a good idea
for a long time.
It's one of those things where it's like,
yes.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a layup. That's like, come on, guys, what are we doing? But there are a couple of franchises like that where I'm like, why isn't this obvious to you? Why isn't it obvious to do this? To just go back in time. Going back in time affords you so much. It allows you to not like be, pinned down by like continuity or whatever if you do it right. Like, and like I like that they introduced something new. Also, that's the thing I really appreciated. But it felt like it was in line with things that came before, and then just like I was rooting for the lead actress, who we've all been in love with.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
We've all been in love with her for years, but to see her like in a movie as like the lead and she killed it, like fantastic. I love it. And then that director who felt
Dan
like he's been like. Yeah, it was like, where's he been as well? It's like he directed a Black Mirror and then he was gone, and I'm very happy.
Didn't he direct Cloverfield Lane?
Well, after that,
he wrote a book.
He did write a book. That is true.
Yeah,
but I'm like, after that Black Mirror episode, which I think is one of the better Black Mirrors, if I'm remembering correctly.
Which one was it he directed?
It was the
video game one.
Wyatt Russell, the video game
one. Yeah. Okay.
It was that
Video Game Boy.
Radio Silence.
Yes.
Yeah. Pa. I was just like, where's this guy been? But I think this movie took a long time to make. Is the answer to that? It took a long time. The buyout, of course. All that stuff. So I think this movie would have come out 5 years earlier.
And it absolutely should have been in theaters. Like that's actually the most upsetting thing about it, is that it debuted on streaming.
Yeah. No, you're 100% correct on that.
So I continue to have mixed feelings about this. I agree. I would have loved to have seen it in theaters. seeing it in my hotel room while eating pizza and drinking wine was a fantastic experience.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, sure. But I
That's
think the
that
problem
is also my ideal way to watch movies.
yes, I think the problem is that we should have the option, which is something that I kind of liked about the early pandemic coming out of it. Like that was a thing for a moment there where, especially with the HBO stuff, it was like you have the option: go to the theater to see The Conjuring 3 or stay inside and order pizza and drink wine while watching The Conjuring 3. I chose the lesser of those options, which was going to a theater, which I regret. I should have just stayed in.
Yes.
Yeah.
But still. And that was fun for about 6 months there. Before they were like, no, only theaters. And then the movie will maybe come out on VOD for $20, or maybe it will come out for $4 in a month. We'll see. And that has been a whole process that I'm not a fan of. But I understand also from their perspective. They're like, we own Hulu now, so we're gonna make it a thing. We're gonna make Hulu earn its weight, and we're gonna put Prey and Hellraiser there.
Oh God.
Which, yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
But yeah, I with the Predator and Prey, like I liked that it was. You could see that it was also like more primitive technology for them. Like, you know, they still had laser functionality, but it just, I don't know, it looked like a giant skull of something.
Oh,
instead
that helmet
of
is the fucking coolest thing.
And like it was just wearing bones. Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
And just the nods to various stuff from the prior Predator films,
like doesn't feel
like
forced
just
at all, and kind of put those movies next to each other very nicely.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't see it coming earlier. Like it wasn't until you saw like the gun, I was like, oh fuck, oh shit, okay, cool.
Yeah. And also, like, if you hadn't seen Predator 2, it wouldn't have ruined your experience. It was just there. Yeah, it was a nice little thing. Yeah, good movie. Good pick, Connor.
Great
Very
fucking
good.
movie.
Yeah.
Connor,
I'm gonna get my last two
back
out
to
of the
you.
way because I gotta go to bed soon. Unfortunately, I gotta be up at like 4. Yuck. First one is Rick and Morty season 6. If I had to pick an award for most improved, Rick and Morty would win the past 2 years. The show is way more aware of itself now, and Rick is nowhere near as insufferable as he used to be because the show is basically based around him being an arrogant asshole all the time. And now the show has done 2 seasons worth of absolutely breaking him down and stripping him of all his power. And just coming out and saying, like, Rick's a piece of shit, and you should not idolize his character. You should not look to him as some kind of example.
Oh yeah, I imagine Justin Roiland was just like, no, what are you idiots doing? When he sees the people,
I mean, objectively, I appreciate that. That's
At least have the self-awareness to be like, hey, this is empowering
and
terrible
the family
people.
has all gotten extra roles. There's 2 Beths now. One is a clone, and Rick isn't sure which one is the clone because he's a terrible father. His own words, not mine. And there was an episode where they start getting horny for each other. They start having secret hookups.
Oh no!
Oh god!
So I'm not caught up, but I've seen like slivers of episodes, like end bits and beginning bits, lately, and it is fascinating to watch it without any context and to still find moments where I'm like, oh, that's hilarious. I believe that there's an appearance in one of the later episodes.
That's what I was about to get
Joseph
to. There
Campbell.
is a meta episode that not just it goes completely insane with the idea of a meta episode to the point where like every joke lands. They go beyond the fourth wall and run into a team of superheroes that are all named after like narrative like devices. Like there's continuity error, Brett Con, and flashback. And one of the characters they're chasing is a character named Previous Leon, whose ability or his power is he traps you in a previously on montage. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some good stuff in there. There's a character
Yes.
called Retcon also, which is just
and his character name is Retcon, and
really,
Morty's
yeah.
like, why wouldn't he just call
There's-
himself
yeah.
Brett Con? That's also a name too. And the other thing
Yeah.
is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Holy
yeah.
shit. It's not a movie I see
Okay.
myself revisiting again anytime soon because it's fucking sad. And having gone through the whole grief process, like it was nice to have that just kind of all up in there. That is a sad movie where every fucking frame where Chadwick Boseman is not there, you feel it. Everyone is appropriately sullen, and then like the whole movie is just about all of them trying to get over it, and all the while Namor is just needling them the whole time. Namor's fucking awesome. This interpretation of Atlantis is
Yes.
really
is.
interesting.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called. Something Aztec.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Chinook is really great in the movie.
Yeah, it's I won't say anything more because there's a factoid about the city itself, but I can't remember what it is. Anyways,
Yeah, release the bulge
I
cut.
saw that recently.
Yeah.
it's Wakanda Forever. Like that movie was an open wound that we all had to like look at for 2 hours and like just see how much Chadwick meant to all these people. And just get to watch them all grieve with each other, like doing a movie. And it's also just about like the horrible things that grief and anger make you do. And like, it's just people making bad decisions because of this terrible weight they have on them. Yeah. It's just, it's fucking phenomenal. And I'm actually looking forward to watching it again at home. Because then I can actually pause it if I need to go pee.
All right. On that note, I am unfortunately going to go to bed. I have to be up in soon, basically. All right. Have a good day, guys.
Right. All right.
No problem.
Thanks for joining us, Connor. Have a good night, man.
Yeah.
All right, Arlen, that puts you for your next one.
Yeah, I'm just gonna mark that down real quick. My next pick is I'm surprised it hasn't come up earlier. Maybe I just liked this more than everybody else did. I like fell back in love with Stranger Things this year. With Stranger Things 4. Yeah, like fucking great season of television. I think if it wasn't even connected to Stranger Things, but essentially the same show with the same level of writing and characters, it would still be on my list. Just a really solid season of television. And I wasn't out on Stranger Things, but
You were close.
Yeah, I didn't deeply care about Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about Stranger Things constantly. It was like, I'd be listening to a podcast and they'd be talking about Stranger Things. I'd be like, oh yeah, that's right. Stranger Things. That's a thing that exists.
Well, it's the first season that like, not the first season, but it's the first season since I think the first season that I actually remember and care about what happened. Yep. Because basically 2 through 4, I was like, like there were high points. Like season 4 had a lot of high points, but still as a whole, I think 1 and wait, is this season 4 that was just out?
I don't wait. Is this season?
Is it season 4? I don't. No, Stranger Things 4.
It is 4. Yeah.
Okay,
4. This is 4.
So yeah, like 3 had some really high points. 2 was what it was. So yeah, I mean, out of 4 seasons, like being one of the strongest ones is pretty damn good in my opinion at this point.
Yeah, and it felt like it did the thing that it needed to do. Like it didn't feel like the easy thing to do, right? Is for the writers to just rest on their laurels and like not escalate things, just like keep writing the thing that they think people want, that they think like the teens want, or that Netflix executives and like advertising people think that they want, but they didn't do that. They were like, okay, what makes takes the story up to the next level, what progresses the story, and also what plays better with the hand that we currently have to deal with, which is actors who all look much older.
Yep.
A story that has been off screen for a very long time. So people's memory of the show is just different. Like, you have a different memory of the show versus if the season had come out a year after season 3. They took full advantage of everything that they had in front of them. And they produced a season of television that like had stakes to it in a way that I don't think Stranger Things had since the first season. And character development, advancing characters in ways that felt interesting but true with what had previously been set up, and like really like laying interesting seeds for the next season in a way that Stranger Things hasn't really done. They don't really do that thing where you're like, obviously you're setting something up here, and not in that way, not in the way that they did in season 4. They've obviously like hinted at things that are to come, but it felt different. It felt like they were on a different level, and it felt like they really leveled up. To repeat the metaphor, it really blew me away how much they had progressed. And it was bold enough that it's on my list. Really impressive showing from the Duffers.
I mean, if their ability to get a Kate Bush song onto number 1 on iTunes, like for a couple weeks too, if I remember correctly, the popularity of that show this season in particular was at an all-time high, like as high as the first season. Like it definitely brought a lot of people back in who were like, oh, okay, this isn't as middling as I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was some fucking phenomenal TV, because I can remember we were all talking about it like every episode. Yeah.
Even me, who prior to the season did not care about Stranger Things.
Yep. Yeah.
And then,
that was the big shock, because you were like, holy shit, this rules.
Yeah. And then I liked it. Yeah, I guess.
You guess.
I mean,
I guess
it's just good,
it's just a good show.
Yeah, it's just like, and I'm way more excited for what these guys are going to do after this than anything before, because I was like, okay, it's easy enough to like endlessly copy other people and like do that once or twice and do it well, and to like do a couple little references, and to have everything else you do after that just be bad because you only have one trick, which is what like people who were copying Quentin Tarantino in the 90s were. It's like, we're just gonna like really aggressively copy Quentin, and everything else we do after this is just gonna blow up in our faces.
They just give them the talisman. Let them have the talisman. Adapt that, guys. Yeah,
it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And I'm very excited for whatever they do. My only concern with the talisman and the Netflix of it all is like, how is that gonna work with Mike? Like, is there gonna be like bad blood there? Is there gonna be like? I'm very curious to see how all that plays out. I would hope that there would be some, if not unity, like respect, like a hey, we're gonna do this, we're gonna like try and like play nice with each other, because the other way is not good.
The talisman on Netflix isn't going to have any reference to the Dark Tower whatsoever. Like they didn't in the original book. It wasn't until Black House that they had any references to the Dark Tower in it. So they're not going to do that.
Did they not announce Black House already though? I thought that they had.
I don't think they have.
Okay.
I don't think they have.
Still, if they do get to Black House, and in the timing lines up, I would like something. I would just do something with it. Take advantage of the fact that you have this. Like it's. I don't think it would have been good or would have made either thing better, but like, if McConaughey had been Flag in that Stand show, or if it had gone the other way, like that would be interesting and cool. as a fan of this stuff.
That Stan show was terrible.
No, that Stan show was real bad.
Like,
it was not good.
No,
but
don't do that to
Skarsgård was
Matthew.
good in it.
He was.
Good.
Don't do that to Matthew, please. My God, don't do that to Matthew.
Yeah,
and it was the lesser of the twins that the one who plays Jughead on Riverdale.
Oh God!
Oh no!
Yeah, he
the one who's in After We Collided. The Harry Styles fan film.
He was in the Stand miniseries. Yeah, along with everyone's favorite bed pooper. I can't remember her name. Johnny Depp's ex-wife.
And criminal Ezra Miller.
Yes.
Yes. It's just
criminal mastermind.
Real collection of just fiends in that cast.
Yeah.
And if you want to include the director, if you want to. So yeah.
You could.
Yeah.
But so Stranger Things was really good this year. Yeah. I'm looking forward to them ending the show though. That's the big thing. Yeah.
I mean, they're still going to milk this franchise. I keep on saying Stranger Things 2000, but like, it's probably going to be even lazier than that. I think I'm setting up Netflix to be much more highbrow than they really are.
I can't wait for Stranger Things 2010.
Stranger Things babies.
That's possibility. That's not even crazy.
Well, it'll be the babies of Drake and Millie Bobby Brown.
God damn it, Erik, your next thing.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is somewhere else on your list, Arlen. But fucking Jordan Peele got me back in again, man. Nope was fucking fantastic.
I mean, since you said both of them, I'll just let this out right now. Outer Range and Nope together were my honorable.
Okay.
Because I just couldn't fit them on the list. So, but no, like Nope, so good.
Yeah.
It's maybe the Peele movie I'm going to rewatch the most because it just has that rewatchable energy that like his movies don't tend to have. They tend to be like a watch it and sit with it for a little while.
Well, this is more kinetic than any of his other films. But I still think I like Get Out more just because of what it did and how it came out of left field.
That's a better movie. Like it's a better film, from like but like in terms of just like fun and like, oh wow, I need to see that again. Like I would have seen it in a theater again if I had time.
Yeah.
I just didn't have the time. It was such a good experience in the theater. I can't stress enough. If you missed it in the theater, you really, really missed it because seeing it on that big screen, it just made everything pop.
Yeah. This was his Spielberg film. Like this was Jordan Peele being like, all right, this is my like Jaws, except it's in the air instead. Hunter, have you seen Nope yet?
Nope.
No, you haven't? Why have you not seen Nope? It's on Paramount
I keep meaning to, but I haven't done it yet.
He can't figure out how to log into the account. He can't figure out how to log in to the YouTube channel that we all share logins to.
Yeah, I can't. I honestly cannot figure it out.
See, what you need to do is just move out and not let anybody know, and then just watch movies for like a month.
Honestly, that's not far off my current plan, bro. So
there you go.
No, but Nope. I really liked that. Like Jordan Peele, he reminds me every movie. Every time I'm driving home from watching the movie, and I'm like, Jordan Peele knows his occult shit. He knows his fucking shit, man. He clearly knows all of it. Like, because there are so many references that he makes in each movie that I'm like, that is like deep lore for like conspiracy theory shit that like I've only heard on Last Pod or other, stuff like that. Like, and it doesn't come up that often. It's like very subtle things that he'll bring up, and like there are moments in Nope, again, you know, as I was mentioning with Skinwalker, like there are moments that feel like they're taking him out of the Skinwalker Ranch story, and they're purely used for visuals, which kind of irked me after the fact, because the trailers made me think that they were going in more of that high strangeness place. But it still worked. It still worked with the movie and the story that he was telling.
Well, was that a case of you making the movie up in your head after seeing the trailer? There we go. There it is.
Just a little bit. But also, I wasn't wrong to assume that, because Us went more in that direction. Us was a bit more of a fever dream.
Yeah.
And so I would have been justified in assuming that. But no, he went like much more like, I don't want to give anything away. He went bigger into like flesh and bone type stuff, like real, and it was very, very enjoyable. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, you should check it out, Hunter. It's really good.
It's on the stream. It's on Peacock, apparently.
Yeah, it is on Peacock.
I'll have to watch that on the cock.
When you get done murdering your roommates and decorating the house with their skin. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
That's the plan. Yes.
Yeah. You weren't supposed to say that out loud, but you know.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was being facetious, officers.
Well, the police are gonna know, and you know.
Well, you know, sometimes they need to know things.
Yeah, and then I was gonna go to Washington and do the same thing to Arlen. And you know,
are you back from getting your late night pizza? Well, it's not late night for you, but
no, it's not.
Oh
no, no, I had to open a door actually.
To acquire pizza. Yeah, so
sure.
That's it for me with Nope. I guess Hunter, we move on to your number one, because didn't somebody else?
My Batman was my number 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
My number 1 pick for the year 2023 is The Rehearsal.
Oh,
that almost made my
wow!
List,
I fucking love The Rehearsal. It's so good.
I totally forgot. Holy shit. Once again, showing how much stuff came out this year.
That fucking woman. That fucking
yeah.
I can't get over it.
I think about her daily.
The layers of her and like
I want to know, did they realize what they had with the first episode she was on? And then just went, oh no, the show is about her now.
Yeah.
Maybe, possibly. I don't know how much it was planned and how much it was like done on the fly, but it was perfect either way. Just
it's just unbelievable. Like, it's the most awkward and uncomfortable yet most hilarious thing at the same time, and it's hard to reconcile those two things for me sometimes.
Yeah. And like, I like that it, even though it's very different from Nathan For You, it feels again like an evolution of Nathan For You in a really smart, well done way. That this is his kind of premise that he likes to work on, but he finds like a new way into the same premise. And his performance is so good, and like the moments where he breaks character, that's some of my favorite stuff as well. Like the little things where it's like, it's just so impressive.
Yeah, no,
there's a moment in that show where it's like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. Is the when they get to the mirror that makes him look older. It's like, oh, this is just fucking insane. So good.
It was like, is this real? Am I really here right now? Yeah.
Well,
that show's amazing.
I loved the episode where he's like, well, how would you make me a list of all the things that are satanic? Like, I feel like that was a point where the real Nathan was coming out when he said that.
Like, all right, well, we're here now.
Yeah. Oh God, she was such a monster.
And
But
then
yeah.
Russ, or whatever his name is, the fucking
The boyfriend.
The guy
so
that she went on a
insane.
first date with. Yeah, the
Yeah,
one
the
who.
first. Yeah.
Yeah. What type of car was it? He kept saying
It's a Scion.
That's it.
Yes. He's like, I don't need to look at the road. What? Yeah, I can. I text and drive all the time. It's like, It's so
Oh
good.
God, it was the best.
Yeah, I love that show. It's definitely high up there for me last year.
Yeah, it's a shame
Fantastic.
we'll never see anything like that ever again on HBO. Not as long as
Yep.
as the Z is in charge.
Well,
We have to eat him.
Did they greenlight a second season now? I thought that they did that already.
I
Or
don't
did they?
know.
He is working on something with the Safdie brothers next, apparently,
That is a thing that's happening. Yes.
which is interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
a perfect combo. I can't think of a better, yeah, that's I can't wait.
Yeah, you're up.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, am I? Okay.
Mhm.
That's right, because Connor's already.
Yeah, and
out.
I all of my stuff is done, so this should be your fourth pick?
Wait,
Yeah,
what
'cause
were your picks again?
I had Under the Banner of Heaven, Outer Range, Severance, everything, Everywhere All at Once. Connor had that,
right.
and then I'd Nope. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I've been typing out everybody's lists as I've been going, so I wanted to, and I only saw 4 on yours. So my final real pick, since we did my honorable mentions, we'll get straight into the hate zone. Is Peacemaker is my last pick. I adored
there's our
Peacemaker.
DC shill.
Yeah.
I'm here to shill for James Gunn specifically.
You know what? I am too.
I mean, here's the thing. I could go on and on about Peacemaker, but like, just the opening theme song, is that all I need to say? Mic drop. I mean,
I still haven't watched it yet.
It's so good.
Wow. Erik,
it's so good, Erik. It's legit.
And I understand your problems with Squad. Yeah. I think Peacemaker is better than Squad, like infinitely better than Squad. Okay. Personally.
Okay. Yeah, what a terrible movie.
Squad. Yeah, because it has women doing things, and that's
and it's a DC movie. Boo.
Exactly. Booer and sis, boo boo.
Yes, I am. It's just like it explores the character, so it does things with that character that it's like, I would never have expected this. I never thought that anybody would go this direction with a character who you are really meant to like hate by the end of a Squad. Mm-hmm. And I just loved it. I loved every moment of it. I loved Robert Patrick as like this old fucking white supremacist fucking supervillain, just like and they set that up, and do they earn it? They really
Vigilante I feel like steals the show at times.
Yes. I would say watch the show just for Vigilante, because it's a character that could become annoying. It could fall into the Deadpool, I do 1,000 jokes and half of them are good thing. But the characterization is so much more realized and feels like it's coming from a truer place. So that almost all the jokes hit, but they all have this underlying level of sadness that Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool has never had. It's just
because he's Canadian. They don't feel sadness.
No, they don't feel sad. The cold pushed that out of them. So.
I blame Alanis Morissette, actually.
That too.
Yeah.
Well, she's a god, so yeah.
It's. I know I need to watch it. I'm obstinate, and I know it's partially because of what one of your hates is this year. Yeah. So since all of mine are already done, I'll go to my honorable mention, and it's No Way Home. It's the one Marvel thing that I had to have on the list. Like, Wakanda Forever is phenomenal, and it's special, but I don't know, it was doing something very different, and No Way Home was like the Spider-Man movie I wanted for a long time, and it was fucking phenomenal. And everybody who came back made me so happy watching it. Like, it made me appreciate Andrew Garfield in ways that I never realized I would appreciate Andrew Garfield.
I really appreciate how they edited out Tobey Maguire's walker for every scene.
Fucking damn you. Toby gets a lot of hate from me as well. But he still is a good Spider-Man. He's
great. He's great. It's just he's my punching bag.
I know. He really, like, he was all in No Way Home, and I was really impressed by it.
He was, and so was Willem Dafoe.
He was.
These shits.
He was all the way in, just going through floorboards and just
like the beating he brings to the MCU Peter Parker is so wonderful to see. This, like, 60s, maybe even 70-something-year-old man just wailing on Tom Holland. It made me so happy. It was so great.
Right. Yeah. And it's good to see children get beat up.
Exactly. They deserve it.
We love that.
They deserve it. But yeah, it did everything, I think, the best way they possibly could, and it does a good job of, like, kind of resetting things going forward, because they made Spider-Man kind of too big too quickly, I think. And if Marvel wants to continue to be able to use him well, they needed to do this.
Yeah.
Because make no mistake, this was a Marvel movie. It was not a Sony movie. But yeah, No Way Home, that was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. It made me like Venom.
Oh no.
It made me...
Boof.
I do really appreciate that Venom's entire contribution was just being drunk in Mexico the whole time.
It was so good.
Pretty great.
It was the perfect usage. It was just enough of the Tom Hardy Venom to just, it was entirely.
It's very clearly Kevin Feige being like, so we want Venom, but, like, also we don't want Venom.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Take your sandwiches and get the fuck out, lady.
I also like that it didn't match up at all with the ending of Venom 2. Like, it didn't even try to match up with the ending of Venom 2, which was also delightful.
No, don't do them any favors. No,
don't. Yeah. And again, it didn't line up with Morbius, apparently. I don't know, because I haven't seen it. But it just does not line up at all. Again, perfection. So yeah. I guess.
Yeah, Hunter, that would be onto your honorable mention, I guess.
So I was thinking of what this year that didn't come out this year. What did I enjoy the most? And I'm gonna be honest, it was the Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
There you go.
It has all 3 Mass Effect games on it. This is the best remaster of all time, I think. It's so good.
It's one of those things that. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just perfect in every way.
It's one of those things that I downloaded when it was available right away on Game Pass, and then I'm like, wait, this is on EA Play, and I'm paying for the best version of Game Pass. I have access to this whenever I want to. I'll get to it again. It's just, I know, like, that's a dedicated quest to go through all 3 games, and it's the only way to play them at this point. You can't just play one. Like, you have to do the entire series.
You do every single one.
How much better does it look?
It looks amazing, honestly. Like, it's like it's one of those things where, like, Mass Effect 1 kind of looks a little dated at times, but it's still enough where it's like, oh, this looks really good on, like, my PS5, you know? Like,
yeah.
All the aliens look amazing. Like, it's just like, they did a really good job of making this beautiful remaster of a game that's like what, a decade old,
something like that. Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, I think it actually the first one is older than that.
Yeah,
Because
like
I had it
over
on
20 years old.
360, something like that. Yeah. God. Yeah. I mean, I played through that entire series on Xbox One because I think I had like the trilogy box set that came out when it was an updated version on Xbox One, and then now I just need to go through it again because I need to get a different ending. I need to go completely bad Shepherd because I've only.
You need to do my crazy thing where I need both versions of Shepard to exist in a save file, so I have both options. So
I don't know about that. I don't have that level of dedication. I don't have your Dragon Age dedication. Yeah. I also just don't have enough time to do that, unfortunately.
Fair enough.
I actually have to have social interactions with my wife.
Yeah, and your wife, and people love you.
I know. Fucking ruining my time playing video games. I just want to watch Leon. I just want to watch Leon be my big blonde bonehead in Resident Evil 2.
As he was meant to be.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's a great honorable mention because it's a great game series and everyone should play it. You might need to update your system though if you want to play it, Arlen.
No, I'm good. No, I've actually tried those games, and it's the thing we've discussed before. It's the Witcher problem of like, this is too much for my brain.
Okay.
This is
fair enough.
It's just too much, but I respect those games, and what they've done. Yeah. I can't wait till they hire the producers of The Expanse to do a show based off of it. It'll be real good. I'll watch every episode.
That honestly will probably be pretty good. I'd watch that honestly, and I haven't even seen The Expanse, but that sounds like a slam dunk.
No, I think you're correct. I think that would be phenomenal.
Yeah, because from everything I heard, it's like big galaxy spanning show, lots of characters, lots of worlds to explore, factions and things, and like
lots of aliens.
Yeah, and aliens to fuck. Yes.
Well, that would be the big upgrade. Aliens, lots of aliens.
Exactly.
Yes.
Lots of fucking.
Let me see that alien OC.
We have destroyed the meaning of the pussy.
Yeah, we've taken it back.
Yes. Women don't know what to do with it. Arlen, I guess we'd move on to your hate since we already covered both of your honorable mentions.
Yeah, and I guess so. Hunter, since our hates overlap, do we just want to do them as one?
Let's just do them as one. Let's just get it out there.
Yeah. So, I guess like the premise is DC fanboys need to stop picking on James Gunn. We're coming to their houses and we're beating them all up.
I missed out. Like, what exactly happened?
It's ongoing stuff, Erik. It's like posting comments under a picture of him having proposed to his wife, saying Zack Snyder could have proposed to her earlier.
That's a real thing, by the way. That's a real thing.
Like, that's an ongoing thing.
I thought there were other things that were happening.
No, it all stems from the fact that James Gunn is running the DC.
Yeah, and there's many layers to it. So like, I showed you guys the account the other day of a crazy Snyder cultists, right?
Yeah.
So an actual Snyder cultist, offended by the idea that anybody would make an account about them, decided to make a James Gunn cultist tweets.
Okay, yeah.
Cool. All of those tweets are far less annoying. All of those people seem like cool people that I would follow on Twitter if I was still using Twitter.
Because I'm part of that cult.
Yes, and this cultist person will post pictures at them of the same pedophile bullshit that has been fucking dismissed for years, and they'll just post it over and over again in people's replies. And it's stuff like that. It's just continuing the same thing over and over again, and like creating this like fake feud between Zack Snyder and James Gunn that doesn't exist. Two people that we know for a fact are longtime friends and collaborators on things.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, how much of this is still like bots, like that people put together? Because that's what all the release the Snyder Cut bullshit was.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's all bot. I think now it's a lot smaller than it was.
Mm-hmm.
To be quite honest with you, but they're louder now because they've been scorned in their eyes.
Yeah.
In their eyes, so like, dumb.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's. I don't disagree with any of that shit though. Like most like DC film fans are obstinate to a fault about things.
Surgeons.
Even, and I don't want to, and I'm not trying to stir shit. Even the people that we like that are DC fans and the people that I would call reasonable are like, it feels like you're trying to push them away from like ideas that should at their very base be seen as bad. Like you're trying to convince someone of something that should be very obvious. You know, it's like if somebody wanted to argue with you about, well, I shouldn't have to stop at a stop sign. It's that level of like, why is this a discussion that we have to have?
Yeah, why are we talking about this right now? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's a lot of like, what? I don't understand. I don't understand the basic levels of like human interaction that you just are not grasping. And not in like a disability way, in like you need to like live a life to touch grass, as we've said many times. It's like a lot of these people, but I do think there is still the bot thing. I think that is still happening to some degree, but it's not Zach buying the bots anymore. Because we know from that report that came out, he was buying bots. He was absolutely doing that.
Well, it's also these DC trolls feel empowered because of the Snyder Cut being released.
Yep,
and it's not doing anything for DC's case.
No,
it's hard because it's like I get it. The whole situation behind Zack Snyder leaving was fucked. It's not good. It's not a good situation. Not one I'd wish he'd be in. You know?
No.
Right.
But it's like, they did this for like a brief period of good grace.
Yeah.
Only to end up with a toxic fan base and a CEO that everybody hates. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't worth it.
A toxic fan base that like uses the slightly less toxic part of their fan base as a shield constantly. It's like, I don't care that some of you raised money. I don't care.
I don't either.
It doesn't make up for death threats and calling people names, calling people sluts and whores or whatever they're doing. You know, threatening sexual violence. It's all the same, like, weird political shit that political journalists get. But these are entertainment journalists and entertainment executives and people who do not expect that while they're producing movies about Batman.
They shouldn't have to expect that. And I mean,
they shouldn't.
I guess some of this could also fall into what's going on with The Rock, because I don't know if he's as much a DC fanboy as he is just an opportunist, but I'm going on the premise that he's a DC fanboy. And
he saw the moment to see what was left of Zach's horror. That's how I would describe it.
Yeah.
He was using that and his natural ability to like make things real just by tweeting them. Which is the funny thing that came out, where it was like they named James and Peter as early as they did because they were worried that The Rock was going to tweet like, Justice League 3 coming out in 2025, and then
That's amazing.
And they were like, if he does that, we actually have to do it, right? That's how this works, huh? It's just like, jeez. But I will say this: things are looking up, and I think it just takes like one movie coming out for a lot of this stuff to die down. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to be optimistic. I would like to think that that's what's going to happen, but at the same time, like every time I see like a comment under every single James Gunn post where it's always people in broken English, which makes me just like, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to feel about that. Seeing people like write sentences that make absolutely no sense about like how James Gunn doesn't understand how to write things, or that like he doesn't understand the characters that he's writing about. And I'm like, you couldn't be further from the truth. Like you couldn't be more opposite world.
It's also like he's making the movie. He clearly knows how to do it better than you do because he's making a movie right now. You know what I mean?
He's made multiple successful movies.
Yeah. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, that, and I don't understand how these people wouldn't be excited to have somebody who was seen as kind of like the first of the mini phase. Like he was the first person to kind of have that, like, hey, you're going to be in charge of this stuff with Marvel. The first time anybody had talked about that. Like, that means that the God King of comic book films saw something in him, which means he's going to be a great addition to DC. Like, I'm saying this as someone who wants good DC films, as someone who wants a good Superman film. Like, I want this to happen, and these people need to get the fuck over their hurt feelings, because guess what? Even if Zack Snyder's daughter hadn't committed suicide, he wouldn't have made the 4-hour film that you got with the Snyder Cut.
No, it would have been cut down.
It would not have been that vanity project. So sorry, guys. And it is guys. It's not women who are doing this.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, the women are the one who are putting together the fucking foundations to combat suicide. And like, I hate to like fall into like, very base level, women do this, men do that. But like when it's that, like, it's just there and in front of you. It's like, oh, the female fans of Zack Snyder did something productive, and the male fans are just on Twitter like chimps, like yelling and throwing word dribble.
That's not Superman. Like,
I do feel terrible for Henry Cavill in all of this shit. Because
he got what he wanted at the end of it. Like,
he
to be honest,
he did.
He landed the best he could possibly land.
Somehow
enough
he
clout to be
the
like,
monkey's paw.
Yes, absolutely. He got enough clout to be like, I'm still on television and I'm still adapting a fantasy thing that I really like, but now I'm in charge. And it's like, perfect. Yeah. What else did you ask for?
He's a wonderful, wonderful man. I think I love him.
He's too gamer pilled now.
I forgot.
Connor didn't illuminate us on his honorables, if I'm not.
No, one of them. I thought one thing was an honorable mention, but Wakanda. Yeah, he didn't. So the last thing left is my hate, which initially it was going to be Moonfall, just because that movie was so terrible. it pissed me off to no end that I spent like 2.5 hours watching that. But
so is it Moonfall, or is that like your like sneak?
That's
Moonfall?
my sneaky thing, because I'm including it while I'm explaining what I really am going to do. I think it's kind of a twofold thing. One is like the auteur worship when it comes to certain filmmakers. Specifically like James Cameron right now. Like, don't get me wrong, I think James Cameron is not someone to bet against. Like he will knock it out of the park. And by all indications, Avatar 2 is doing that. Like it's already past $1 billion. So it's doing something right. But
whatever,
But if people aren't interested in the basic idea of Avatar, it's okay. James will be fine.
He's made $1 billion. Clearly, like we're like the people who don't care like us are just like not going to go see it.
No one's going to be
like,
hurt.
It's so very obvious that this is the overreaction to like MCU stuff and like and all that discourse or whatever you want to call it, and it's just like I'm so bored of it and over it.
Me too.
And also, I don't care for auteur theory on any level. I think it's an interesting theory, but I think the people who see it as like the golden rule for how filmmaking should be done, it's just like no. It's an idea. It's a concept that was made for film theorists, for film literature, for people writing long essays about film. It's not, and there have been people who have decided to try and like go live by it and like make films by it, but it's not meant to be like the practical way that filmmaking works. And there's this entire group of people that feel inclined, partially I think because they want to be against the wave, or against the current. That they're just like really like trying to like ride James Cameron's dick so aggressively. And
it's also like
we saw this with Chris Nolan. Like there were people who were defending him for wanting to release his movie during COVID.
Which is weird.
That was absolutely a thing.
And especially Tenet being what it was. It's just like, are you sure about that one, Chris?
It's just, it's like, no wonder I'm watching it on my Apple Watch.
I'm going to watch it on my Game Boy Mini, clearly.
Hunter, you were going to say something?
Well, yeah, because like the people who are like anti-MCU and who love Avatar are so weird to me.
Yes,
because it's just another $1 billion franchise. Like they greenlit 7 of these movies based on one movie. You know what I mean? It's the same shit.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's like, man.
It's
like
it
makes me feel like they have no conviction. That's all I'm saying.
No, I feel like some of these people A, forget that it's all Disney, and B, think somehow if the $1 billionaire or the $1 billion franchise does better than the other $1 billion franchise, that's going to supplant the prior one. And I hate to break it to these people, MCU is going nowhere.
Yeah, no, it makes too much money now. It's
and you think the Avengers 4 won't make $2 billion? You're fucking crazy.
And just from a filmmaking perspective, like they've gotten over a very rocky hurdle with this phase. And I was saying earlier, like they've kind of grown up a little bit. Like, so I hate to break it to the people who want to hate on MCU. Like, it's not going anywhere, guys.
Yeah, it's crazy that people think it's just gonna die. It's like no.
Yeah.
No.
The other part of this hate is kind of connected to everything we're talking about. Is just discourse over film has gotten disgusting. Like you can't even say something like, I wasn't that into it. I thought it was good, but I wasn't into it. And you're a monster because once again, it falls into all the bullshit that people attract or attach to auteurs and certain fucking directors.
Right. Yeah. And they attach all this other stuff to it. You know, like before Cameron's Avatar, the other movie that really got a lot of this was like throughout the year, people posting like GIFs and screenshots of Spider-Man No Way Home next to the Batman.
Yeah.
And these have been the most infuriating posts to see because it's like, why are you just comparing this
They're
because this is the
two
last
completely
superhero
different
movie you
movies.
watched?
Yeah.
Exactly. And they're like, wow, how is this the same budget? How did they get the same amount of money to make this? It's like,
It's different, bro.
it's a different thing altogether. They're doing different things. And it's attached to the same auteur theory thing. You know, people talking about how, you know, Matt Reeves is this genius and like good on him for like saying that he'll never work in the MCU and blah blah blah. And it just people attaching meaning to things that should just be separate on their own. Like
Yes.
Like every interview somebody gives shouldn't be attached to a headline that says, you know, Matt Reeves says this is why the MCU doesn't work, and it's just, you know. So your hate links to a larger problem that I've been having with like entertainment media and stuff. It's like, do we need to ask every director about the MCU just so that they can be like, oh, I hate this or I don't care?
Well, it's just so they can get a click.
Yeah. You know,
for me, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Did you really think that Martin Scorsese is going to be a huge Iron Man fan? Like, does anyone actually believe that?
And or to assume that he's even seen it. Yeah.
It's perfectly fine that he doesn't care about them too.
Exactly.
Like,
who cares?
Don't bother somebody whose field of influence and interest is so far outside of anywhere the MCU is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, just leave him alone, please.
Mm-hmm.
It's like trying to explain to me what bussin' means. I'm old. Right. Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Erik, I could explain it to you off the podcast if you'd like to know.
And on the flip side, like, you know, not to you know disrespect old Marty Scorsese. Like, I care much more about like current filmmakers and what they think a little bit more. Like, I actually care a bit more about what Paul Thomas Anderson has to say about these movies. And when he was asked about the MCU, he was like, "Oh, they're great."
Yeah.
He was like, I go to the theaters with it's me, my kids, and Maya Rudolph, my incredibly beautiful wife." He didn't say that, but I'm putting those words in his mouth because that's what
I'm sure he believes that.
Yes.
That's what I would say if I was married to Maya Rudolph. And he's like, we know exactly what they're doing, and they do what they do extremely well. I had a great time. I think it was Shang-Chi that he said that he went to the theater. He's like, it was good to be in the theater again. I know, Hunter. Imagining Paul Thomas Anderson watching
it's a really, really funny thing to imagine.
I kind of love it. But
like that's what I want to hear. I want to hear from people who have like real experiences of actually watching these movies. That was the other thing. It's like he's actually seen it, so I care a lot more than a director who I don't believe has seen a single Marvel movie ever.
I would be fine with someone who's like, no, I haven't seen them, but comic books have never been my thing. Like, there you go.
It's also like, I really feel like if you were to ask Hitchcock about like any newer genre past what he was making, I think he would have the same kind of reaction that Marty Scorsese had, to be honest.
Well, I think Hitchcock would really like 80s horror movies, actually. I think if he had been alive for them, he would have really dug them.
But like, if you showed him like Shang-Chi, his head would explode, I feel like.
Probably. Yeah, I can see that.
It's like giving Victoria Child a Four Loko.
Yes, exactly. All right. Was there anything else?
That's everything else. Yeah.
Because Connor he either didn't have a hate thing or
I think he fell asleep immediately.
Yeah, I think
he did. So,
that's everything for us.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Plugs? Anybody plugs?
Yeah, I got a couple. Comic Club and Crossover Attack are kind of on hiatus for a little bit because I'm working on moving out of my current living situation. But yeah, those will be back soon. And hopefully once I move out, I can start streaming again. So like, go to twitch.tv/youngcomet if you want to follow me there.
You ever gonna finish Dream Daddy?
No, I'm never finishing Dream Daddy.
Sorry, I have to ask that every time you talk about streaming.
But yeah, that's it for me.
Arlen, you got anything?
LHP still working away on that. If you like lists like this, a top 10 movies list, just talking about the films. A lot of the stuff that's been talked about here will be talked about there. So and new stuff that we didn't talk about. So listen to that once it comes out. I'm pushing to get that out as soon as possible. So look forward to that. Otherwise, that's all.
The only thing I got is, hey, everybody, you're not immortal, and your bodies will not be able to continue to deal with things the way they do when you're younger. So just take care of yourselves, please.
Right.
And normalize telling your friends you love them, because just fucking do it. Don't be weird. Yeah. Don't be a fucking homophobe. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, don't be a fucking weirdo.
Yeah. So with that, that's been our top 5s for the year, or for 2022. Yeah, I guess that's it. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
I love you guys.
Love you too.
I hate love you, and also I hate Zack Snyder.
Yeah, and women. Women suck.
Yeah, and women. Women are the worst.
No good.
They can't go to space. Bye.